Welcome to Giffen Park for this QAFL Reserves Grand Final between the Broadbeach Cats and the Aspley Hornets. My name's Riley Guest. I'm joined today by Jack Barrier and Chris Eend. We've had an exciting game of Colts footy that went down at the last moment, last couple of minutes, and we're set for another grand final in not perfect conditions because the wind's blowing around. Jack, do you think that will have an effect early on the contest?
Yeah, look, the teams that want to certainly get those goals early. There's no better pressure than scoreboard pressure, so they'll just have to adjust to the conditions. Some really good senior players out there in both sides today represented, so I'm sure they'll be able to adapt really, really quickly, and both teams coming with a bit of form.
Although with that being said, it's a little bit one-sided, the two matchups this year, Chris. Broadbeach first winning by 80 points in round 19, and then winning quite comfortably in the end of the semi-final 2 weeks ago by 32 points.
Yeah, absolutely. They've certainly showed that they are a dominant force here, Broadbeach. Just a quality outfit, what they've been able to bring to the table. And I think what their performance in the reserves, very much like what we've seen here with Aspley, it's been a reflection of the quality of the senior teams as well. We've seen that transition with Broadbeach in the off-season, losing, I think, 10 of their grand final players from last year. So we've had to see some guys from the reserves come up and start to make an impact, and the depth that they've got through their team, as we've seen with Aspley, is a reflection of the club. And it just seems to be the Broadbeach. They've just got just a few more extra superstars.
Well, what's interesting about this one, Yenzi, is that into the Aspley side comes Macaulay Lonergan and Mitchell Crawley, have played senior footy all year, and we've got Lockie Harrop, who played in the Premiership senior side last year, so it adds a little bit of different dynamics to probably when they last met.
Yeah, well, I think Riley, I mean, we talk about hard luck stories. You have a guy that plays senior footy every game that he's available this year, Mitch Crowley, and when it comes to the grand final, he's playing reserves. That's a tough story, but I mean the upside is he's here on grand final day in another respect.
He's still playing, and grand finals are grand finals. A premiership medal is a premiership medal if they are to come away with the chocolates today. I also watched him play 2 weeks ago against Redland Victoria Point in the senior qualifying final, and he was quite good that day. I think another hard luck story as well for Aspley is number 25, James Nellis, dropped full finals, and he's had to come into this reserve side, and he's done his job, and he'll be looking today to try and get another flag.
So in the context of this game, that's three big ins for Aspley. There can be three experienced players, throw in Harrop, and some of their players that have played really well all year. It'll be a really, really interesting look.
Yeah, it certainly will be. This is fitting. Essentially, we had this grand final last year in the seniors. Well, we've got it here in the reserves as we cross to the presentation.
So our official ceremony is completed. We'll have the toss in a couple of moments before we do a chance to introduce our umpires. Thanks to the umpiring partner, Bradham's Windows and Doors, our three field umpires today. Congratulations to them. Daniel Furs, Jacob Severs and Kai Pendlebury, our two boundary umpires. A lot of ground for them both to cover today will be James Dofter and Matthew Forsyth. In the goals, we've got Joan Again and Elias Bouchamble. So congratulations to them all on their grand final opponents. Grand finals are very fast and hard at the start, and it's generally, gentlemen, the team that can compose first and get the game on their terms. How do you think Aspley might go about doing that, Chris?
Well, they're a quality team that's got a lot of depth, and they've got players that play strictly to positions. We're seeing the coin toss at the moment. It has been won, and Luke Dempsey has won the toss. They're kicking to the right of his screen, Broadbeach. But Aspley, as their senior team, they've just got a really good quality side from top to bottom. They haven't got the team of stars, although the irony of saying that is they do have the league best and fairest and Kiot Thok in the team. But they've got 50 players amongst their reserves and senior team that is very much reminds me of the Richmond Footy Club during the Premiership era, where they just had guys play a position, and I think that's a reflection of why Aspley is such a good team.
Jack, for Broadbeach, they've only played one game in the last 3 weeks. Their win against Aspley in the semi-final. Do you think that might be a cause for concern?
Well, again, another club that runs a really, really good football program, plenty of experience and high-profile coaches down there. So I think they would have trained to the minute. They've always been in and around finals. I think these two sides met a few years ago. Broadbeach won premierships in 12 and 18. They've always consistently get their Colts up in and around grand final. So I think they're experienced. They've got some good young talent, and they'll be ready to go.
So Broadbeach today are coached by Tony Pollard. They've had 3 changes from their semi-final against Aspley a couple of weeks ago. The 3 ins: Hamilton Howard, Tane Dawson, Josh Zanker Close. The 3 outs, the 3 unfortunate outs: Cooper Green, Ben Poquest and Lachlan Huppets. For Aspley, as Chris touched on earlier, the 2 ins in Macaulay Lonergan and Mitch Crawley. The outs: Willow Dwyer actually dropped to the seniors, and Luke Smith as well, promoted to the seniors. Although we did play the senior semi-final against Redland Victoria Point, so you'd think he'd be fit and primed, ready for the senior grand final later this afternoon.
Yeah, well, he did play last week for Aspley in the preliminary final to make today. So to get the call up there, it's a wonderful achievement to him, and no doubt the guys that are coming down here it's certainly going to be a big achievement for them to step it up. And as Jack pointed out, a couple of guys that played in the senior grand final last year.
Now Tane Dawson's starting ruck for Broadbeach. I hear he's quite a talented junior. Looks like he's in the middle, ready for the first bounce. Aspley defenders just taking their time. There's no need to rush. The staff have done a perfect job. We are bang on set for an 11:30 start here at Giffen Park. Just interesting, I noted captain of Broadbeach, Luke Dempsey, starting on the bench. So winning the toss, rewarded by his coach after an immediate break, Chris.
Yeah, Jack Barry, who will have the opening bounce of the 2023 Reserves Grand Final.
Umpire to bring the ball in is a nice, beautiful bounce. Here we go here at Cooperoo. No one gets a clear tap of the ball, but it's jumped on straight away, and they'll tie it back up in the centre of the ground. Crowd starting to build as we got big grand final coming up later on between Aspley and Redlands Victoria Point. Umpire throws it up. Nice tap out. Sharked away. Here's a chance. Aspley will go forward first. Ball goes inside forward 50. Worked under the ball. No one can take the mark. Spills free. Quickly under the ball. A strong tackle. Keeps the ball alive. Head over. Oh! He's come in nice and hard and collected him high, and there'll be a free kick against and a nice handball there to... free kick there for Broadbeach in defence.
Like Corey McGurran, from Aspley laying their hit there.
Well, the ball will go back up.
There's the ball, middle of the ground, sorry.
Yeah, the umpire had called time off in that sense there. So that doesn't count. Kick over the top now. Mark here by Cooper Hines. A likely type. Puts the ball up towards half forward. Here comes Crowley from the side. Good fly. Almost bringing the ball to ground there was Bobigo. On hands and knees, shovels it out now to a teammate. Ball 55 metres out from Broadbeach's goal. Good tackle laid there on Corey McGurn, and we'll see a stoppage at half forward there for Broadbeach.
Broadbeach putting 2 behind the ball very quickly. One as a sweeper, one a kick behind the play.
Ball tapped out. No one can get a clear possession here. It's just nice and tight early. It's Lockie Harrop. He handballs over the top. And here's a chance now. Kick quick away. That's a nice little kick inside forward 50, and he's found his target. So a lovely little kick there by Alan O'Neill. And he's found his target in forward 50, and that's Adam Hull. So Hull will be about 45. He'll probably kick it from 50.
Wind going left to right here for Hull.
He's kicked a few goals this year, Hull. That's seniors and reserves level 2.
Not a lot of wind blowing as he comes into kick. He kicks it nice and high, swinging back around. He's got the first onto the board for the Kitty Cats, and they're up and about and they're away.
Perfect start for them in a grand final. First forward entry. Perhaps not as deep inside 450 as they would have liked, Jack, but Very accurate. Found a teammate, and a good use of the wind there by Hull. I know it's not blowing a gale, but it is that little bit of a left to right. We saw in the Colts game perhaps some of the players not making full use, but Hull there, no exception.
Nice goal and clever little play by young Alan O'Neill. He's had a taste of senior experience again this year with Broadbeach, and then he didn't panic with the ball, found a target inside 50 and made the most of it.
An immediate change, I think, by Aspley, switching their rucks. They put their full forward up into the ruck. And James Nellis actually has gone to full forward.
Jay Harms just come off for a spell too. Good to negate that change. Rucks will contest. And we'll see another stoppage. Callum Royal and Riley Owens also coming on the ground. Slotting in at half forward there for Aspley. A lovely tackle laid there just forward of centre. Umpire said allowed it to continue. Slips out the back towards Harrop. Harrop now with a right foot kick over the top. The kick was ill-directed. The target there on the outer side was out-muscled beautifully there by Reece Finn. He turns the ball over. Thok goes in, lays a bump. And we'll see a stoppage. Just forward of centre there, Aspley's attacking zone.
Clever work there by Thok. Of course, he won the Bill Clerk medal.
We've had a free kick off the ball. It's for a hold. It's going to the way of Aspley.
So it'll be Thok, as we said, the Bill Clerk medalist for the reserve grade competition. Nice little weighted kick, looking for Nellis on the lead. Couldn't take the mark. Ball spills out the back. Strong tackle. Umpire says you've dropped the ball. They're going to be hot on this today, and it'll be Broadbeach will take the ball from defence.
So the Cats across half back there through Hamilton Howard. A big inclusion of the team, finds a target. He's got an option long in the form of McGuinness. One-on-one inside forward 50 there with Crowley, and that's where the ball will attempt to go. It skewed off the side of the boot. Heads out towards the boundary line, but McGuinness is still in here. McGuinness is still in here. Was he nudged? Umpire said no, play on, pushing the side. Crowley now, a booming kick up towards Thok. And he marks very strongly, met strongly there by Reece Finn.
Thok, centre wing. Looking towards centre half forward. Nice little hit up lead. Clever, crafting this way. This is good play. Onto the left foot, nice kick forward. Over the top, rolling, and through for one behind.
Nick Sculfer, the minor opening score for Aspley. James Nellis is doing quite well at full forward, getting a lot of separation on his opponent, trying to beat him on the lead.
Nice kick out. Taken into fence there by Broadbeach, but just doesn't find his target. On the lead there was McGuinness, but couldn't go through. The ball goes out of bounds to be thrown in.
We're going to be going to McGuinness a fair bit, but I don't know whether that's the ideal situation there for Broadbeach, because Mitch Crowley will be wearing him like a glove today as the Hornets spear the ball inside the forward 50. Bounces unfortuitously there for his teammate there in McKenzie. Ball 25 metres out from goal. Right foot snap around the body. Tugs it to the left. Minor scorers. Thok comes off for a spell, and Jay Harms onto the ground here for the Hornets.
Macaulay Lonergan, as we see Reece Finn going down to take the kick in. Look to free him up a bit, Broadbeach do. He's playing as a spare man in defence at the moment. They'll be looking to him to rebound the ball. Had a bit of dash and creativity off half back today as Jez Butler comes onto the ground for the first time.
Broadbeach bring the ball in. They kick long and high. Pack setting themselves. Getting in the front spot. No one can take the mark. Harrop's at the back of the pack. Keeping the ball alive. Just gets a quick kick forward. He's going to find a teammate. And it's a nice little kick forward, and he's found his teammate about probably 45 metres out. He'll probably kick it from outside 50.
That's Riley Owens, and I guess Riley, that's the benefit, I guess, of the kicking into the breeze, that the kick can drop a little bit shorter and create that space.
Just need to be aware as the player of the conditions and position yourself appropriately.
Owens will probably kick it from 50. Might sit up in the wing. Nellis will be the man down forward. They're looking for try and take the big grab. Can he get a distance on it? So he kicks it, gets his distance, no worries at all, but it just veers across to the left and through for one behind.
So they've had their chances here, Aspley, early stages in this first term after the Cats kicked the opener. About nearly 6.5 gone. Cut the margin back to 3 points. Most of the kicking or scoring in might be to the right of your screen. Ball on the outer side. O'Sullivan goes up, had the chop of the arm. So Aspley now looking for options inside the forward 50. Nellis is standing at the top of the square all alone. He'll launch from behind, got hands to it. Ball 15 metres out from goal. Shoveled out there from the Hornets. Lovely work. Right foot snap around the body. And the finish. It's superb. Mackenzie on the board. The Hornets by 3 points.
Yeah.
James Nellis, the dangerous one there. Pushed deep, got free. They're definitely looking for him every time Aspley go forward. He's the focal point up forward. Broadbeach's spare player in Finn unable to impact the contest there.
And Mackenzie is such a good finisher. You know, he was clever there. Just read the ball off the bottom of the pack and then just was able to kick across his body for a goal.
So 8 minutes gone. Broadbeach only had the 2 inside 50s so far, I believe. The game being played in Aspley's territory. They'll be happy with that, you would think, Chris.
They certainly will, and they've, as you mentioned, the head-to-head has certainly been in favour of Broadbeach this year. But for them to come out kicking into the breeze and have, I think they're basically sitting at 75% of conversions every time they go forward with a score.
Up they go. It's really cleared out, and there's a nice big kick away there by Dawson as he kicks it up nice and high, trying to work him under the ball was the Aspley defence in the calibre of Crawley. And the umpire says, I'll have it, thank you. It's a true centre half forward position. He throws the ball up. Front spot, nice tap away by Aspley Ruckman. His tackle around the shoulder. Umpire doesn't say no, it's just low enough, and I'll have another throw up inside the forward 50.
Broadbeach have Dawson, the spare 50 metres behind this ball.
Here's a chance. There's a mosquito fleet are swooping on the ball for Broadbeach, but again, Aspley just looking to lock the ball up. We've played just under 9 minutes in the first term, and it's Aspley 1-3-9, leading Broadbeach 1 straight 6.
Sam Banks-Smith at the top of the goal square there for Broadbeach. Matched up there by Sherwood. That's a very good matchup for both sides. Booming kick out towards half-back. Major was the player in the gun to try and intercept. His teammate is clobbered. With no prior opportunity, we'll see a ball up, just forward of centre.
So we've seen Aspley make a couple of changes in the ruck. They're rotating, I think, Harms and Thock through there at the moment. Do you think that's an intentional game plan, Chris?
Yeah, I think so. With the hot conditions, we saw that happen with Maroochydore in the Colts game, where they rotated Jones and Jensen off the bench in 5-minute spurts. And with the temperature today being around sort of 24 degrees, still in the humidity of around 55%.
And Thock gives you that extra on-baller, doesn't he? He's not a tall bloke, but he's athletic and got a high vertical leap, and he can certainly be another midfielder once the ball hits the deck.
Similar size to like a Patrick Cripps, I think, the way that, I mean, not the physical size, but that ability.
The umpire's going to call a free kick. It's been not a high intensity first quarter, is it? They've sort of just gone straight into the motions of what do we need to do here. Hasn't been. Here's a chance now. Well, they're going to launch the ball forward. No one's on the mark, so that plays on quickly for Broadbeach, but he just blazed away inside forward 50. Didn't find Thock. He's a formidable target and is cut off by Broadbeach in defence. Looking to switch the ball out wide. Clever play. There's an overlap if he wants it. Nellis pushing across to try and pick up his opponent. He's gone to the boundary, hugging the boundary. Again, looking for his teammate in McGuinness, but the ball spills over the line and out of bounds.
I think they were very lucky there, Broadbeach. Might have come off the lower part of the leg below the knee, just the boundary umpire caught on the wrong side.
Well, McGuinness he's been the go-to target on 3 occasions here for Broadbeach in this half of the ground, as Aspley pumped the ball inside the forward 50 up towards Thock territory, knocked out of his possession. Broadbeach, last line of defence, fell over the ball and the umpire will call a stoppage.
Jack, just going back to your comment a couple of minutes ago about both sides settling into the motions, I think that maybe that week off's just affected Broadbeach a bit. Only one game in the last 3 weeks. They don't seem at grand final pace just yet.
Oh, there's been a smother here, and there's a chance for a goal, but again, pushed up, kept the ball alive. He just steps it over the line and out of bounds, so high pressure there.
Good effort from Matt Herring to keep that ball locked in the forward line.
They're going to move the ball out quickly now. And he kicks it out wide, but Nellis is going to be there to chop the ball off and send the ball over the line and out of bounds.
Yeah, well, Aspley have had the last 5 scoring shots of the game since the opening goal inside first couple of minutes off the boot there of Hull, who converted strongly from 40 metres out from a beautiful set shot. Aspley have responded. Harms in the ruck. Big kick inside the forward 50 there from Harry. Up towards the top of the square. Thock flies. Comes off hands. Minus score. The lead is 5 points in favour of the Hornets.
Broadbeach moving the ball out quickly. Going from side to side, just trying to find the right avenue. Big kick down the line now, looking for McGuinness, as we said, but it's going to be cut off by the experience in Crawley. Crawley quickly moves the ball. There's a scrubber kick trying to pick up the ball there was Chadwick. Handball back and back again. Clever play. Scoopler. Kick inside, but Broadbeach is going to get there in defence first and again hug the boundary, but he's got too much on it and it's going to go over the line and out of bounds on the full, so it'll be a reset from outside 50, about 70 metres out from goal.
It's repeat forward entries for the moment for Aspley, but Broadbeach are holding on. They're definitely trying to play the defensive side of the ground, but...
Kick inside the forward 50 there from Schoenmaker, land about 15 metres out from goal, taking an uncontested mark was the Cats. So looking to bring it out towards the commentary side, but those avenues were shut down, which probably works out beneficially there for Hamilton, because McGuinness, who's going to be the target in that instance, and he had 2 on him as the ball comes off hands. And Tane Dawson comes up for a spell.
As does Callum Royal.
Historical fact here for Tane Dawson, played his first game of VFL football for Southport before he made his senior debut for Broadbeach. That's just how good he was. And I played in the grand final with the Colts last year too, so he's certainly a likely type.
Certainly a player to watch. Taking out of the ruck, it's a quick kick high. They'll pay the mark if they can. It's a big punch forward though. I think it was running towards Nellis in the boundary line. Nellis trying to get hold of the ball, but he's happy to take it over the line for another reset. So we played 13.5 minutes of the first quarter. This QAFL grand final between Broadbeach from the Gold Coast and Aspley here from Brisbane. And it's Aspley 1-5-11 leading Broadbeach 1 straight 6.
Aspley have 2 spare players off the back of this stoppage, just outside forward 50.
A throw in and a bit of a tap, a handball over the top. Umpires picked a free kick out. I think it's a high tackle.
Yes. And
it'll be a free kick going to Aspley.
Josh Banks.
And it'll be Josh Banks to have a shot from about 40 metres out from goal on a slight angle.
The non-controlling umpire there making that decision.
So that's what we love on games like today, is that the umpires, when you're not in control, you're looking further around for those decisions.
And for them, it's their grand final too. They want to be at their absolute best, making sure they're in the right positions and making the right calls all the time.
Comes in for a shot on goal. It's nice and high. Right into the mouth of the goal square, but no one can take the mark, and it's happy to punch the ball over the line through Sean Watson, who's just come onto the ground. And it'll be another kick in to Broadbeach. And it now moves out to 1-6-12 to 1 straight.
Aspley haven't made the most of their opportunities, but I don't think going forward's been their problem. They just haven't been able to take a mark or have shots from good spots inside forward 50.
Yeah, Broadbeach have sort of forced them to take shots from 40 metres out from goal or blaze away, essentially. Ball goes up towards the outer side. Foot race there. Ben Brown goes to ground, recovers well, handballs over the top there to a teammate, and on the wrong postcode, we'll see a throw in. So just forward centre there for Broadbeach.
Jack Brown's just come onto the field for Nick Jasper.
So they'll be keeping the changes coming at a frequent pace here for both sides. Warm conditions, very similar to last year's QAFL Grand Final day here at Kooparoo. Going up, almost unopposed there, was Sean Watson. First year at the Cattery this year. Handball towards the boundary line. Still inside the field of play, only just. Lovely tackle there from the Cats. And I think that came there from Charles Battoli. We'll see a ball up, 45 metres out from goal.
A rare forward entry for Broadbeach, just to see if they can make the most of it, Jack.
Yeah, nice tap out there by the rucks. By Watson, I think it was, but can't seem to get any clearance. So again, it's been pretty tight around the stoppages. Up we go again. Fock gets a big leap. Cleared away. Here's a chance for Broadbeach. Right, it's a nice big kick into the goal square. The pack set themselves, no one can take the mark. And the ball screws for 1 point. That looks dangerous when they can get that ball there. They just held some width. Good play by Broadbeach.
And they levelled up at the stoppage too. There's one-on-ones all around the ground. Crawley's definitely winning the battle against McInnes at the moment.
I think they just have to concede the fact that matchup is going to be at a loss to them. So that's a good advantage here for Aspley. Kick out towards Jeremy Schoenmaker. Right half back. Ben Brown on the mark there for the Cats. Cats have got some numbers coming down the line now. And this is where the +1 will come into fruition. Comes off hands. Boundary throw in. Going to see 3 changes here for the Cats.
And just 2 changes for the Hornets.
Feel like I'm back in the Brisbane CBD at the bus terminal here with all the changes happening. People are getting on and off the bus.
Umpire throws the ball in. Fock at the back. No, it's a nice tap by Watson. He gets front position, trying to burst his way through. He's tackled and held up. Umpire says, I'll have it, thank you. Solid work there by Battoli. Charles. Up they go. Watson, clever. Just hits it into space. Gives a chance for Chadwick to run onto it. Now he just dumps inside forward 50. Broadbeach lead the race for the ball. Oh, had no eyes for the ball and just took his opponent out. And the umpire says, I'll have it, thank you, throw it in.
Yeah, Crawley sending a pretty direct message there to McInnes. Actually got fortunate the ball went out of bounds instead of falling into the lap of a Broadbeach player.
So that's sending a message to the senior coaching staff saying you should have picked me.
Throw the ball in. Gets pushed under the ball this time. Harrop, he's been busy this first term. Handball over the top. Onto the left foot. Aspley will drive the ball out. Will the wind take it? No, it'll just bounce inside the boundary line and be thrown back in once again. So overtime for the boundary umpire. He's had about 14 throw-ins this quarter as the wind, as I said, probably sort of coming across the ground.
We're used to seeing 3 boundary umpires officiate, with 2 on the commentary side and 1 on the far side.
So, Jack, how do you think Aspley coach Michael Smith's feeling at the moment? They've dominated large parts of this quarter, a lot of field territory, but they're only up by 5 points and they've kicked 6 behinds.
Yeah, I think we'll be happy with the inside 50s that they're getting. Maybe it'll open up as the game goes on. But here's a chance for Broadbeach now. A dump kick inside their forward 50. And they're leading for the race of the ball. Can they keep the ball alive? He does. Now he centres the ball up as he finds his teammate, but it can't. The ball bounces as these oval balls do. But hang on. There's been a free kick and a little bit of untoward towards the player. So it's going to be a free kick going to, is that Hull again?
I think it is, yes.
To line up for his second goal.
Just unnecessary from Aspley.
I just wonder whether the Aspley player was going for the ball, and of course it's bounced the other way, and the inadvertent contact would be what I was sort of thinking there.
I like the forward entry from their captain Dempsey C. Lowered his eyes, didn't blaze away with the wind.
Hull to line up for his second. It's a lovely straight kick, and he's put it through, and he's making the most of his shots on goal. We spoke about it at the start of the game. No better pressure than scoreboard pressure. So they haven't been in as many times as Aspley, but they've made the most of their times. That makes sense.
That's textbook goal kicking from Adam Hull. We've seen Aspley burn a few chances, but with the wind there, just kept it low, kept it straight, kicked through the ball. He'd be very happy with his start. He's taken his opportunities when they've come, as has his team. And probably, I think you're keeping count there, Chris. They've only had maybe 5 or 6 inside forward 50s. And as we were about to tick into time on, they lead by a point despite having 4 less scoring shots. I've really liked as well, Sean Watson coming onto the ground into the ruck.
Yeah, I think the show highlights the depth that Broadbeach have got, because he was recruited to be a ruckman for the senior team, and they just couldn't get him in there with the success of Tane Dawson, Riley Bowman, and a couple of other options as well. So, yeah, at least he's sort of playing in the grand final alongside Tane, which shows a tremendous depth of the ruck stocks here for Broadbeach. As Watson, the man in question now, Mark sends the ball back inside the forward 50. As Mark taken there, no, it wasn't Mason O'Sullivan. He's wrapped up straight away. He had no prior opportunity. Ball up 40 metres out from goal.
Yeah, another lovely little kick there by young Alan O'Neill. Just, again, waited the kick, opened up the play, gave him another inside 50. Up they go, the big tap out. Nice tap out by the...
A free kick for a push. It's going the way of Broadbeach here. Again, this time non-controlling umpire Jacob Severs has made the call. In a very good spot there, 15 metres away, and he's caught a free kick for a push. Jack, you've got the binoculars out, trying to see who's got this footy.
Well, I think it's that young Alan O'Neill again. So he's lining up for his first. He's a very good user by foot, and as I said, I saw him play a bit of senior footy this year with Broadbeach. So let's have a look at O'Neill coming in from about 40 metres out from goal. He kicks it nice and high, allows for the wind, but it's just pushed across the face and moved through for 1 behind. But a good start by O'Neill.
Broadbeach just ringing a couple of changes. Aspley at the moment have Crawley on the bench. He started very well on McInnes.
So I feel sorry for McInnes. He's come off the ground, and Broadbeach have dominated the inside 50 since then. So I think that's a matchup they've got to work out at quarter time, and how they get Crowley off him. Kick up towards Hull, strong hands. It was touched at the contest, so umpire said no mark. You can hear that very loudly through your effects, Mike. So the Cats, who dominated the last several minutes of play, lead this one by 2 points. Aspley not converting the most from their opportunities. Well, they've got the extra number here in Lonigan. Squeezes the kick around the body, up towards high half forward. And Broadbeach will take it out of bounds through Josh Sanker close. And if you're just joining us, it was Maroochydore victorious in the Colts Grand Final over Palm Beach Currumbin in a tight contest, just over a kick.
Crawley's come back onto the field to play. A bit of confusion with the Aspley bench around which players were on and which players needed to come off.
There's a nice tap out forward, but it's going to be sharked away. Here's a chance now for Aspley as they go through a nice little grubber kick, but Broadbeach will clean up in defence and drive the ball long. Pack setting themselves. Punched out the side. It's going to fall in the hands of Watson. He gets on the right foot, kicks forward, looking for his teammate. He just works him out under the ball. Now here's a chance running over the back of the pack. McGuinness gets on the right foot. Oh, ran into an open goal. Could have been his first. Unfortunately, the players all letting him know a bit about it. He's gone through for one behind, so he'd like his time again.
So Crawley's come straight back onto the field and immediately gets to McInnes. He would have been on the field for maybe no more than 30 seconds. So, Chris, as we've already mentioned, that matchup going to be very important and interesting to watch all day long.
That'll determine the result of the grand final, I feel, because Crawley, who plays a really good tagging role in at any level of footy that he is involved in. McGuinness is their leading goal kicker. He kicked 7 goals in the semi-final, so he's in red hot form. There's the ball there at half-back, kicked around the body there from Lonergan. Tries to find a target there in Nellis, who's far away from home. Broadbeach with the ball inside the forward 50. Comes off hands, lands about 30 metres out from goal. Howell had no prior opportunity. Handball up and under. Was looking for O'Brien. Ben O'Brien from Yeppoon Swans. Played some VFL footy this year.
Siren goes for quarter time in this QAFL Reserves grand final between the Broadbeach Catch and the Aspley Hornets. Aspley dominated large parts of that quarter. Plenty of shots on goal, but they kicked quite inaccurately and they trailed Broadbeach 2-3-15 to 1-6-12. Only 2 goal scorers so far for Broadbeach, a double to Adam Hull, and Aspley, their sole goal coming from Kai McKenzie. We're going to take a break from here at Giffen Park, but please do join us for the second quarter in a couple of minutes. Welcome back to Giffen Park here. Thanks to our production partners in Double Take Sports, bringing you live QAFL action here from Brisbane City. It's quarter time at the QAFL Reserves Grand Final between the Broadbeach Cats and the Aspley Hornets. Aspley has dominated large portions of that first quarter. They trailed the Cats by 3 points. Jack Barry, what were your thoughts on the first quarter?
Yeah, I think as you spoke before, we finished up the last quarter, that Aspley certainly had a lot of ball early. They probably didn't get the numbers on the board that they would have liked, and Broadbeach were very efficient going forward, so they ended up holding the slender lead of 15 to 12.
We're just waiting for the last amount of spectators to get off the field before we start. I think there are a number of Aspley senior players who will be playing later this afternoon. Chris, as the players walk out in a position, we see that, unsurprisingly, Mitchell Crawley's gone straight to Harry McInnes.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Crawley does move onto the wing later in the game when it's there to be 1-2. So he's negating the influence there of McInnes. But I want to see him come onto the wing at some point.
So Harms and Dawson in the ruck as we get underway in the second quarter at Giffen Park.
So it is the Hornets to the right of your screen. Harms comes back to him fortuitously. Inside the forward 50, you're looking for Thock there on the bounce. You can see how hard the turf is. 45 metres out from goal. Broadbeach trying to use their defenders to try and clog up space. And Brandon Chadwick locks up his opponent.
It's Aspley going forward, Chris. We spoke about James Nellis before the game. He's gone forward. I don't think he's had a disposal yet, but he's proven the focal point for the Hornets.
Well, it'll come up towards his general vicinity now as the ball paddles out towards the boundary line. Up towards the goals!
Oh!
He's pulled something out of his back pocket and said, this is what grand finals are made of. That's Kai McKenzie. Bang!
Well, that's his second. Wow. As I said, he just can make something happen out of nothing. And what a great goal that was. Aspley 2-6-18, leading Broadbeach 2-3-15.
And it was Nellis on the line actually shepherding that one through. So again, he doesn't get a disposal for it, but it's a goal assist effectively, because if he's not there, then Broadbeach would have conceded a behind.
Because he's got that upper body strength too. He can just sort of legally shepherd the ball through and watch it through and keep his opponent away.
So the perfect start for Aspley. Wasted their chances in the first quarter, but took the first one that popped up in the second.
They've got a young midfield group there in Broadbeach. Up they go. Oh, and it's cleared out of the bounds. That's what we're talking about. O'Neill, nice kick out in front. Can't take the mark. Ball spills free. That's Hull. Kicks around his body into the goal square. Can he take a mark? 1 bite, 2 bites. Can't. Off the ground. Oh, I've got on a party trick as well. Anything you can do, I can do better. Broadbeach get their third through Baboggy. Hope I say his name properly. Well, what a great goal.
And the celebration too. I think he landed the flip, but let's go back to the centre clearance there for a moment, Jack, because you called the young midfield group. It was definitely a set play, and O'Neill, it's almost video game-like, just able to burst out of the centre with all the time in the world going forward. Broadbeach, the perfect response. This game's changed dramatically since quarter time. It was a real slog, a war of attrition. Well, but now it's opened up.
Yeah, they've got the experience of Chadwick in the middle, and the rest of them are all young kids, and that was great. O'Neill read that ball beautifully.
Yeah, it looks like I'd like to see McInnes be used as a decoy and Hull to probably be the main target. And he has had a number of disposals inside 50. I think he's had 4 now. So he's going to continue to be an option. Both of them playing a lot of senior footy as Dawson goes to ground. Harms now falls over. Harrop now ducks the head. Handball's out now to a teammate in the middle of Giffen Park. Inside the forward 50. Comes off the knee there of Bowen. Bowen there on the outer side there is Lonergan, stripped of it, ball at his legs. Both teams contesting hard. G-A-W-N gone, holding the ball, free kick. And it'll go to the Hornets at half forward.
I think it's going to go to Macaulay Lonergan. Good forward pressure from the Hornets, Jack.
Oh, yeah, and it was fantastic. And both teams have got to be doing that today, because that's what's going to create turnovers, and it puts the back line under tremendous pressure.
So the wind's just died down a little bit. Blowing left to right ever so slightly here for Lonergan will help his kick. We saw a really nice goal earlier, and the Colts up against the boundary line from this spot. I think he's just got to aim it at the left goal post.
Question of accuracy now. Plays on up towards centre half forward now. It's going long. He went for the extra distance. Missed a lot. Out of bounds on a full free kick to Aspley in the right back pocket. Oh, Broadbeach in the right back pocket.
How many times do you see that players running around trying to get extra distance and just hooking the kick? I saw Max Gawn miss a pretty gettable one last night, Jack.
Yeah, no, it's always look at the ball in hand. Do they keep it still? Do they arc out in a big arc? It's interesting to watch the art of goal kicking. Broadbeach will bring the ball out. They go down the line. It's a nice kick, and he's found his teammate. Good mark. Out of wing. I was out of halfback. Again, tries to kick off one step. He finds his teammate again. Now it's a long kick down the line. Pack set themselves. Spills over the top. Here's a chance for Broadbeach if they can get clear possession. They go apt to go backwards. Now a kick across the line, and the ball's going to go out of bounds and on the full.
Aspley able to make a rare change with the ball on the other side of the ground. Onto the field comes Riley Owens. They've got the numbers set up for a switch if they wish to do so, the Hornets. They've got numbers on the far side.
Yeah, particularly with Owens screaming for it. He's about a kick and a half away. Kick comes off the instep. It might work out here for the Hornets. High half forward. Up and under. There from the Cats. Trying to work their way out of there was Ben Major. Hits the target in Sam Banks-Smith. Metres in the clear of his direct opponent. Puts the ball up to the corridor to Chadwick. He's a quick and go character. Up towards half forward. Crowley off the half volley. Sockers off the ground in the middle of Giffen Park. Big hit now as the Cats try to work it out through Hamilton. Left foot kick. Tries to find his teammate. It bounces away from him unfortuitously. Took his opponent high. Free kick, and it'll go to Aspley at right half back.
As a poor entry going forward, Broadbeach. They had McInnes over the top, but the kick, you've got to adjust for the wind, was short.
Shoemaker goes across to Lonergan. He's looking inboard. Goes back. Just finds his teammate in time. Nice kick across the line of McDonald. Again, just feeding the ball back. They're just trying to relaunch. Now they'll go inside forward. Nice kick. Nice forward kick to O'Sullivan. Sullivan sends it out wide. Now they'll launch on the left foot. Under pressure though, and of course there's a turnover. Good forward pressure again by Broadbeach. And they'll reset from centre half back.
So the Cats now through Hamilton, who's winning plenty of the ball in this tight contest. Cooper Hines finds his teammate there in Sam Banks-Smith. Played some senior footy this year. Very, very good impact when he's involved in the play, pushing further up the ground after starting the quarter deeper inside the forward 50. Chadwick now. Crowley's almost unopposed in defensive 50, and Aspley.
No one forward at the moment for the Hornets.
I could just loop the ball up towards Thok, but he'd be battling a 3-on-1, so they have to make this kick work. It does eventually now. Right foot kick squeezed out of there. And Broadbeach will settle, and player down here for Aspley.
Shoemaker, he's getting back up. Looking very ginger, hit the ground a couple of times. I think his right leg's a bit sore.
Ball there at half forward. Tapped out nicely towards Bogey. Banks-Smith again, an up and under kick inside the forward 50. One for the Brave, and there were plenty of them that went up. Bodies hit the floor, free kick for a throw, and it will go to the Cats.
He's having a good second quarter so far, Sam Banks-Smith. He's been lively on both flanks as a target and following up well at ground level. This Crawley-McInnes matchup's become very interesting because Crawley started to zone off a bit off McInnes and thus been able to involve in plays such as that one. But it's also making McInnes a bit more threatening. He loves to get out the back.
Yeah, we might be taking one for the team, so to speak, if we can keep Crawley out of the game. Ben O'Brien, VFL experience this year with Gold Coast, and can kick goals too. This is no exception. Beautiful finish. The boy from Yeppoon finishes with a treat. Back out now. We're at a game-high margin, 9 points.
An interesting kick. It was well kicked, but kind of went against how I thought the wind would take it, Jack.
Yeah, no, clever. He kicks it nice and high and allowed the wind to be able to do the right. You're right, looks like it's going the other way. But he obviously read it really well. The boy from Yeppoon, he would have kicked a few goals up there off the bit of sea breeze coming off the beach there. So he's well versed with understanding the dynamics of the wind.
So after 9 behinds in the opening quarter, so far we've had just 3 goals straight, so a much better exhibition of goal kicking from both teams.
And our man from Jolie from Double Take has been capturing all the action to perfection. He has demanded that he gets the best on ground honours today.
Back in the centre, it's Thok and Dawson to do the ruck work. Thok looking for his vertical leap, didn't use it then. Dawson got his hands to it, but not effectively.
He's looking to shark that clearance, as you said, Jack. A bit of a forced sentiment.
Umpire will regather the ball just outside the square circle. Thock gets a tap out now. Now it's sharked away. Good play by Broadbeach. They'll just dump the ball inside forward 50 again. Watson puts a big fist to the ball, and good strong defensive pressure by Aspley. Ball spills to the ground. They jump on top of a player. Can they keep it alive? You don't want to be hatching the ball today. Trying to squeeze his way out of it, but he gets held up and the ball will be thrown up once again.
Chris, we've spoken about it a lot, but McInnes looks to be taking Crawley up and wide a little bit, leaving some more of his teammates in a bit of a central position.
Well, he's almost like he's playing the decoy, so that if he can take Crawley out of the game and play deeper up and sort of take himself out of the game in the process. With process of elimination, probably Crawley's the most damaging player across half-back for them is Nellis. A rare touch, he's got no one inside 0 to 40, so he pulls the trigger from long range. Which way will the ball bounce? It'll bounce straight across the face of goal and still inside the field of play. Now, what's the umpire going to pay the decision here? Will be a throw in, and there's a cat is down in the forward pocket.
I think it's his knee, unfortunately, so he's not looking in a good way. The trainers are racing out to him, and we've got to thank all our volunteer trainers that work across the state week in, week out, and look at them straight there to support the player.
I think it's number 46, Kyle Clark, unfortunately, has gone down.
Just hopefully, if anything, it's just he's jarred the knee into the ground when he was taken down. Nothing malice about the contact.
Just one of those unfortunate incidents that sometimes happens in football. Sean Watson's rolling up to this stoppage, I think, to take the throw, and as Tane Dawson comes off. But that last piece of play, Aspley getting the ball inside forward 50 very quickly. I think it's the second time this quarter when they've gone forward that they've actually had no one inside their forward 50, so they've had to kick to space and hope.
Well,
I mean, it nearly came off there.
Well, Nellis has had to basically be that option for himself.
It looks like this might be the game for the youngster who's gone down. Yes, so they'll call the stretcher. No, I think they're not saying he's going to come back on, so he'll come off via the boundary. So he won't take any further part for a while now.
So is that Jack Bowen that is essentially coming on for him here, just in front of us?
Yeah, yes, I believe so.
So he won't come off through the interchange. So let's have a restop and a regroup. This will allow the game to get going again.
So just a quick recap of the game, perhaps. 3 points the margin at quarter time to Broadbeach.
Now he's run back on the ground. You've got to hang on. They've mucked this up because he's the interchange has already happened, so he's off for a while. I think he'll be off for whatever the rules say, off for a while. So a bit of a mix-up there. Anyway, let's get this game started. The umpire will throw the ball back in. 27 plays 18 in favour of Broadbeach. Inside forward 50 for Aspley. There's a nice tap down, cleared away by Broadbeach. A nice thumping kick along the line. Banksmith's in the second position. Trying to take a strong mark there was Sherwood. Now here's a chance to get on the left foot. Goes inside, and they found a teammate, and it's a nice quick kick and a good mark to Aspley inside forward 50 again. Probably have a shot from about 45 metres out from goal. He just says, settle it down, settle it down. I think I can slot this one through. It looks like it's Barnes.
Just a chaos entry. Short kick falling forward, and fortunately for Aspley in the lap of a forward. I don't think Broadbeach will mind this though. Yes, it is a shot on goal, but it's going to be from 50 metres out. That being said, the wind is just down right now.
Barnes, a working class man. He lifts it and lines nice and high. Oh, the big fist right on the line. 3-4, one behind.
Goal umpire in the perfect position to make that call. Actually, is indicated that it's come off the post, so it must have been hit onto the post.
So margin back to 8 points. We appreciate your company wherever you may be watching. We've got our man Jolie from Double Take. We've got Jack Barry. We've got Riley Guest. Chris Yeen with you. Reserves grand final action. We saw the Cats and the Hornets go toe-to-toe in the senior grand final last year. Well, we've got it here in the reserves, and what a titanic battle we've got as Lonigan. He's wrapped up straight away. No prior opportunity. And across all three grand finals this year, teams that finished 1 and 2 in the home and away season are all playing off in the big dance. So that double chance worked beautifully. No team has come from outside.
So, Chris, which do you think would be the two happier the coaches with this second quarter?
I'd probably say Aspley at this stage.
Sorry, that was a throat.
I'd probably say Aspley at this stage because they've had to force McInnes, their leading forward, Broadbeach, to get himself out of the contest. So as Nellis takes the mark, but I think the fact that Harry McInnes has basically had to take himself out of the game means that Broadbeach have to find more options. As Nellis is kicking into a hurricane. And the Hurricane sends it out of bounds on the full. Free kick to the Cats in the left back pocket as Brandon Chadwick comes onto the ground.
I've been interested in the ruck battle between Harms and Watson. Watson obviously a stronger man. Harms has got a superior reach, so interesting little battle.
Well, we've got a call for a blood rule, I think. I think it's one of the Aspley players running towards us here. So he's the replacement, and Thock will come onto the field. I think it might be Callum Royal coming off. That wind is making things very difficult, I think, for Aspley going forward. It's not predictable. It's definitely blustery.
27 players, 14.5 minute mark, second term, QAFL reserve grade grand final. They switched the play across, and great, found his teammate out there by himself, so they've spreads the team as they head all across the ground. But he's holding the ball up, so this is allowed Aspley to get numbers back. Pack set themselves, no one can take the mark. It's going to suit Aspley. They get quick, dump quick inside forward 50. And he's found his teammate, and that's a nice little mark there, I think, to, can't quite pick who that up.
That's Owens.
Owens, one step, launches from outside 50. I think he's put it through. He certainly has. So Riley Owens gets his first for the day, and more importantly, he gets Aspley's, I think that's their second or third for the day. So Aspley 3-7-25, now only trailing Broadbeach by 2 points, 4-3-27.
So it's kind of a counter-attacking goal against a counter-attack. Broadbeach looking to transition the ball, switch the ball to the far side of the field. It's better to attack when going to the left of screen from that side of the ground. But a turnover and another dump kick inside forward 50 working for the Hornets. Just that shallow chaos ball just going in their favour at the moment.
I did like Tane Dawson. He was getting ready to come on the ground, and I actually was on the ground and he said, so where am I playing? Obviously playing in the ruck, because that's something that the coach has said that they're going to. He's come on the ground for Sean Watson. So Tane Dawson straight back in the ruck, one of the best tap ruckmen in the competition, won the Rising Star Award for the QAFL Senior Men's Competition on the back of a very good late run, making the most of his senior opportunities when Riley Bowman went up to VFL duties. The domino effect working beautifully as Chadwick squeezes the kick out, hits a target there on the burst. That's Jez Butler. Jez Butler inside the forward 50, then about 30 metres out from goal. Aspley had the extra defender that went up. They'll look to come out towards the commentary side with the aid of a Shepherd. They've got options further up the field. This is the goal kicker there in Riley Owens. Tell to go. Play got close to the man on the mark, up towards half forward, and he finds Herring. Herring, he's got Thock probably about 15 metres out from goal. And the wind puts it up towards the top of the goal square and takes it through for an incredible goal. Accidental, doesn't matter. They're back in front.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how it goes through as long as it does, Chris, because in the score book it goes down as a goal. Aspley retake the lead. Haven't been in front since maybe about the midway part of the first quarter. Going with the wind, they've had to make the most of it. Had a few shots on goal this quarter where the wind hasn't helped them, Jack, but that time the wind working in their favour. Yeah,
it's hard to work out. You know, it looks like you feel like you're kicking into the wind a little bit from that angle, but he certainly got some height into that ball, and it gave it a little bit of extra distance.
And I think that's why Thock sort of positioned himself waiting for that ball to sort of curl around it. But at the end of the day, the ball kept coming.
I think Broadbeach might need a bit of a lift from their midfield here. They've been a little bit relying on number one there, Brandon Chadwick.
Well, they've thrown both ruckmen on the ground now. Sorry, Jack.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, when they get the ball on the outside, they've got some little jets there that can really take the ball, but they're just not getting the ball out to them enough to get the win the ball on the outside. Kick the ball down the line. Another inside forward 50 for Aspley as they just grab the ball if they can. A little soccer poke. Broadbeach under pressure. Handball the ball to go backwards. Or under pressure again. Stops and Swedes. Gets onto his right foot and swings it across it. And there's a nice little kick and mark on the out of flank there to Broadbeach, and these are the little blokes we're talking about. Quick handball. Now it goes out to O'Neill. Down the line. No one can mark. 2 bites of it. Now it's going to spill free. Broadbeach have the ball, but the pressure coming from Aspley. And the ball will slightly head over the line and out of bounds.
Just seen a positional change. Didn't think we'd see the 2 ruckmen on the ground, but Sean Watson's come on. He's playing at centre half forward. He's playing on Mason O'Sullivan, who is a lot shorter. And Mason O'Sullivan, at times, is playing 5 to 10 metres off in front of him. And Mason O'Sullivan being from the Hornets, umpire.
Now, the out-of-controlling umpire, Jacob Severs, has seen that from about 50 metres away. The correct call there to pay a throw. It's almost like an Auskick hand pass at times. So a free kick going against Harms. Grabbed it out of the ruck a lot today.
Umpire.afl. Get involved next year. Big fly from behind. Ball inside the forward 50 for the Cats, where it hasn't been as often. Left foot kick around the body. Mark taken there by the Hornets. Aaron Crowley's looking to slow it down. Jack Barry
sends it out wide. Just trying to open the play up. They're going from side to side. Looking for a hit-up lead. It's coming like Harrop. Harrop in defence. Looking to go inboard if he can. Decides to go down the line. Who's he found? Oh, Broadbeach dropped the mark. A chance to have an intercept there. But the buttering up comes to... there's been a drop ball and be a free kick, and Broadbeach quickly go inside forward 50, and they've got a mark, so that was clever play. So they didn't wait around, they moved the ball quickly, and that's those little leg players with that little bit of leg speed that's made the difference.
Just Aspley caught unawares there. They weren't expecting the free kick to go against them, and they hadn't manned up, so as soon as that ball came in, or the free kick was called, I think that's Charles Patoli. Probably said that wrong. Apologies, Chris. He's up against the boundary line here for this shot on goal.
Yep, having a shot for goal. Here we go. Try and kick Broadbeach their 5th for the day. Is it swinging around? It has. It's a lovely kick. So Broadbeach get a much-needed goal. And that's a clever goal. And it was good work by little Jez Butler there that won the footy and a nice little hit-up lead and found his teammate. And they kicked that next goal. So
a goal against the run of play, you'd have to say, because Aspley's defence has been really good covering off and getting numbers behind the ball, but that actually cost them there because they didn't man up. No accountability, and the quick entry this time working out in favour of the Cats.
And you've got a fair indication of what the wind was doing there. The goal umpire was making strong movements to go towards his left, to getting ready to acknowledge it behind. And then he was like, hang on, it's going through for a goal, so it curled back late. I've
just actually seen the goal umpire down at that end, walk 10 metres onto the field, which you only generally see when he tells players to stop bumping into each other. And unsurprisingly, it looks like Crawley's on McInnes there, so you can wonder what's happened.
Yeah, well, there could be something that he'll keep an eye on to notify the field umpires at sometimes the next break of play.
So, Jack, Broadbeach been very good on the outside in the midfield, but they're probably not winning as much contested footy as they would have liked.
No, they're looking for Chadwick to try and do all that bullocking work, which he's been not too bad at, but it's a big ask for one player to do. They probably need a couple of more people in there to help him out.
Ball here on the commentary side. Howard just shrugs off his opponent there. But he's turned the ball over. It'll go straight back inside the forward 50 to a 2-on-2. Comes off hands, free kick. So it'll come to Nellis.
He's been very influential in this second quarter. This will only be his 3rd kick of the day. He hasn't kicked one yet, but he shepherded one through and he's the focal point. Now, I don't know why the Broadbeach player is going to give the ball to him. I think that's Finn.
Just a bit of mind games happening.
Yeah, will they, won't they? Almost lucky not to give away a 50-metre penalty there. Umpire Sevis is bringing Nellis around. How's the wind going to affect this kick, Chris?
Well, he's got to aim for the left, and he's got the boot in him, James Nellis. A crowd favourite. It's just missing to the near side. Minor score. Margin back to a point. It was 3 points the margin at quarter time.
I think it might be Ben Brown with the kick and duty. No, sorry, apologies. It's going to be Ben Major with the kick and duties for Broadbeach here. We're in the time on, 22.5 minutes gone on the best part, so in this second quarter. 3 goals apiece to both sides.
Major will favour the commentary box end. Up they go, big fist over the top there by the big ruckman. He's tackled, held with one arm. Now Nellis is there stepping inside and uses a bit of leg speed to try and get out. Dump kick forward. Good clever play by Broadbeach, but he gets stumped after he kicks it. O'Neill's under pressure and he just takes the ball over the line and out of bounds. Umpire to throw the ball in.
Aspley bench very happy winning that forward boundary throw in here, although I don't know how that was a throw against Broadbeach. It seemed to be almost like a 2-hand volleyball set.
1 point ball game. Umpire throws it in. Nice tap forward by Dawson. And again, another stoppage here as they take a break with 23-minute mark. Just over 23-minute mark of this second term. QAFL Reserve Grade Grand Final. Up they go. Good hap out by Harms. Big kick through a bit of a pack. Broadbeach trying to spread the ball out. Now they're out. A kick down the line. Oh, a bit of a party trick there. Here's a chance for Broadbeach. It's Hull onto the left foot. Kicks it high. Goes back and remonstrates. Ball in front. Oh, his umpire's going to pay the mark, and it's a really good mark there to Crawley.
Oh, Crawley. You couldn't think of a for someone that potentially could be a best on ground, simply shutting down his opponent to perfection across half-back. He's got his teammate in the seniors who is very well known for doing that in grand finals. Ball up towards the outer wing. The commentary wing. Umpire allowed it to continue. Hacked forward there by the Hornets to 3-on-1. The Cats should keep it inside the forward 50, or defensive 50, I should say. Nellis, though, no challenges too big for him. Umpire was blindsided, so play's allowed to continue from that alleged high tackle. Ball 40 metres out from goal, and we'll see a stoppage.
Interesting to note up the field, well, I think they might have just changed back, but Crawley was standing on Banks Smith. He had a good start to the second term. Now he's pushed up to this, he's about 30 metres off this contest, kick behind. Now he's coming back to stand on Watson. They're making all sorts of moves here, Aspley, but they do have a kick behind the footy.
Harms gets a big tap out. Feeds back, the Ducks inside, a quick kick forward. It's a dumping kick into forward 50. They're trying to win possession right at the true centre half forward position. Numbers swirling around the ball, but no one can get a clear possession there. And the umpire will ball up once again.
So 3 goals apiece in this second quarter. I think there's a player or two down for Broadbeach. Taking their time, very ginger to get back up. It's been a taxing second quarter. I think I've got it as 25 degrees now, and Chris, you spoke about the humidity around the ground today as well. These players will be tired playing in the middle of the day.
Umpire throws the ball up as a nice tap out the back, a clearance away for for Aspley, but he's trying to race through the pack. There was Lockie Harrop, but he was set upon. Umpire throws it up. Again, Harms gets the tap out. Now it's just a quick dump kick out into space. So it's a foot race on. Hull, can he pick the ball up? He keeps the ball in his possession in front of him. Well tackled by Aspley. They just get a quick forward kick, and the ball runs out of bounds and over the line to be thrown out once more.
Full credit to Lachlan Sherwood there. He was the spare man in defence, and he ran about 30 to 40 metres to make that tackle, and then the kick forward to earn his side a stoppage just outside their forward 50.
We had an 8-point margin in the Colts Grand Final. Maroochydore victorious. We've got another close one here. First 6 quarters of Grand Final day here in the QAFL. Magnificent. We hope the next 6 live up to the potential that we've seen to start. Going over the ball, and he had no prior opportunity. He was locked up straight away in Nick Sulphur.
Half-time here at Giffen Park in this QAFL Reserves Grand Final between Broadbeach and Aspley. A very tight second quarter sees 3 goals apiece. Broadbeach will go into the long break with a 1-point lead. They lead 5-3-33 to Aspley's 4-8-32. Goal kickers for both sides. For Broadbeach, 2 to Adam Hull, both in the first quarter. Singles to Babogo, O'Brien and Bitoli. Probably said that wrong, sorry. And for Aspley, 2 goals to Kai McKenzie and a goal apiece to Riley Owens. And Mac Herring, a very nice goal from outside 50 that was shepherded through on the line. We're going to take a break for half-time as the sides from the seniors game will come out onto the ground, get a feel for the conditions. We'll be back in about 10 minutes for the second half of this QAFL Reserves Grand Final. Please join us then.
My name's James Strybos. I started umpiring at the Jindalee Jags Football Club. I've been going for about 20 years now, and I'm now just becoming an AFL umpire.
So I'm Matthew Young. I've been umpiring for 17 years now. Started at Jindalee Jaguars, also into the QAFL, into the NEFL, VFL, and then finally in the AFL.
Hi, my name's Andrew. I started umpiring at the Aspley Hornets Football Club. I've been umpiring for close to 11 years, and now I'm umpiring AFL football.
I was influenced by my dad. He was running around in Queensland at the time, and then the local footy club at Jindalee wanted some club umpires, so I thought it was a great opportunity to earn a little bit while I could. So I started in club umpiring, and then really quickly kind of found myself wanting to get involved in the Brisbane Juniors, so then made my way through that pathway all the way into senior footy up here in Queensland.
So we started playing together back at Jindalee Jaguars, and he had a history of umpiring in his family with his old man, and seeing James umpire as well got me involved into umpiring. So to now share that experience that we've had for so long, 15 years or whatever it is, 16 years, to now umpire, and hopefully we get to do a game together at AFL level, which will be awesome.
I started playing at Aspley at under-8s football, and then when I got to about under-13s, I started my club umpiring journey there just to make a bit of extra money. Probably like a lot of umpires, I realised that I was a lot better at umpiring than I was at playing, so to get to any sort of decent level, I knew that it wasn't going to be through playing, it was going to be through umpiring, so it was a pretty easy decision in the end.
Down at Jindalee, it was a pint of Coke, whether it was a scoreboard or club umpiring or goal umpiring. I used to run about 3 or 4 games a weekend and enjoy the 3 or 4 pies and Cokes, which was fantastic. I'm glad it's changed a little bit now.
Absolutely, give it a go. I didn't have a whole lot of interest when I was playing footy until friends and whatnot started umpiring, and then I just loved it from day one. So I think it's a great opportunity for you to build confidence in yourself. There's so many range of areas where you can develop yourself outside of footy as well, and helps you in life in general. So give it a go for sure. It's a journey that I'm so thankful that I took up at a young age.
Obviously the 3 of us getting put on this year, and there's already 2 on the list at the moment, so to have a good strong contingent of Queensland umpires on the list is fantastic, and to do it with 2 guys that I've kind of come through the ranks with and umpired a lot of football with, it's really good.
It's been a long road to get to this position, and when the phone call came through, I was pretty speechless, and even now talking about it, it's still very exciting and really just looking forward to what challenges are ahead with it.
I think it's probably commitment is the number one thing. A lot of people have a lot of talent and a lot of people have a lot of promise, but I think if you can combine that with commitment and getting everything right off the field and putting in 100% like everything, I think that's probably what it takes is to get there. Yeah.
Welcome back here to Giffen Park for the second half of this QAFL Reserves match-up between the Broadbeach Cats and the Aspley Hornets. It's grand final time, Broadbeach leading by a point, although it's probably fair to say, Jack Barry, that Aspley were the better team in that first half. They just didn't make the most of their opportunities.
No, well, certainly had a few opportunities in that first term, but as I said, I think they'll be pretty happy with where they're at. I think there'll be a chance for them to regroup. At different times, both teams have looked like have looked pretty good, and they'll be happy with how they're going. But I think I think Broadbeach looked dangerous on the outside. I think some of those smaller blokes, those younger blokes, didn't get the ball. But there seems to be some really good experience here and from Aspley.
Some bigger bodies too. They're definitely winning the contested football at the moment, which is vitally important in grand finals.
Lonergan, Crawley, Nellis, Harrop, Thock. You know, there's some good players that have been playing pretty well today. And but again, Broadbeach through Chadwick has done a lot of hard work and through the middle of the ground. And then the smaller players like like O'Neill, who's got the ball on the outside today, has done really well.
Now, unfortunately for Broadbeach at half-time, I believe we've had a message come through that number 46, Kyle Clark, is done for the game with, I think it was a knee injury or an injury somewhat to his leg. Yeah,
we saw that. You saw him go down just outside the near the scoreboard in that quarter, and he'll take no further part, I don't think, for this game.
Now, it was interesting to note, I saw before they went off into the rooms, Broadbeach getting an impassioned plea from their captain, Luke Dempsey-C. So interesting to see how that plays off in the second half. Jack, would you like to get us underway for this second half of the QAFL Reserves Grand Final?
Here we go. Third term, Grand Final. Big tap out by Aspley right from the start. And that was Big Harms, who's worked really well in the ruck today. Enjoyed his battle. We've got a fantastic reach on him. And he gets there, gets a kick this time, just takes a clearance. Bumps the ball inside forward 50. The ball spills free. Here's a chance now for Broadbeach as he gets gang tackled by a couple of players, and the ball will stand inside their forward 50 for a throw-up.
Now, the footy stereotype of the premiership quarter being the third quarter of a grand final exists. I think the hot conditions today are going to just make it that extra bit vital to the outcome of this contest.
Solid tackle by Chadwick. Umpire says he'll drop the ball and he'll get the free kick, so Broadbeach will get to reboot the game from the half-back line. Good play by Chadwick. He's toiled hard today. Now he's looking inboard, looking for a hit-up lead if he can get one. Let's see if we've got a bit of movement up there. Of course, up forward, Hull's been a handful for him today. That's where he heads to. Oh, big mark by Banks Smith at the back of the pack. Great grab. He plays on quickly. Broadbeach trying to get their tails up. Drives it in forward 50. Oh, nice mark. He can't play it though. Play on's a call. I thought he took that. And the ball spills out of the line and out of bounds.
Banks Smith's intended target was McInnes there. He's matched up on Crawley. Got some separation out the back, which he has had a bit in the second quarter. I think he'll be looking to try and catch him out the back a few times, but Crawley's been really good so far, making sure that that hasn't occurred, and he got a bit of support from his teammates coming across and affecting the kick inside forward 50.
Nice tap forward there by Dawson. Ball just gets held up once again, and there's been a lot of stoppages today.
Attacking side of the ground, that side with the wind.
Yep, tap over the top. Can they get a clearance? No, they're good. The pressure from both teams has been immense. So the game really hasn't opened up the way that we probably thought it would because of the pressure and making sure that getting numbers at the stoppages.
Been one down on the bench Broadbeach, down a rotation. Could play a part in this second half.
Could do, but they've got some young leg speed out there. Here's a chance, a handball forward, and Aspley will get the clearance, drive the ball long. Thock's there, great mark. The medalist, Bill Clerk medalist, goes back, then launches inside forward. It's a nice kick. And he's found his teammate. Nellis says, go back and have the shot. He had him over the top if he wanted him. But that's a good mark there. I think that might be...
Kyle McKenzie.
Again, well, hasn't he been a handful up forward today?
Very lively.
He's kicked two, and he kicked a miraculous goal as well. He kicked the opening goal, and then he kicked a miraculous goal from the pocket last quarter.
Just trusted his teammates to win the ball, and he was already running forward, so by the time Aspley took the mark, he was off the goal side of his opponent.
He's usually very, very good by foot. He comes in on the right foot. He's kicked it nice and high.
Through.
He's come around and he's kicked it. That's his third. What was his second?
Third.
Kyle McKenzie hadn't had him marked down. I thought he kicked three. So he's got three for the day.
Really nursed that one through. We all thought it was going through from behind. He struck it really high on the boot, but leant back on it as well. But the wind's just bringing it home. It's been tricky to read all day, the wind.
It has been, and but Mackenzie's had no trouble at all. He's kicked three today, and he's kicked them from both ends of the ground in both pockets. So he's done a good job.
And as we come back to the middle, it's a very warm welcome back to Chris Yeend. He's been doing God's work out the back here, putting the second shade up because it's very hot in the comm box. Chris, Aspley get the ideal start with the first goal of the third quarter. And actually, yes, you'll need to take yourself off mute before you can join us.
Just super pumped to be here. It's grand final day. The first 6 quarters were a treat. Let's hope this next 6 quarters offer something special as the Hornets go back inside the forward 50. Free kick downfield to Aspley.
Just a lack of composure there from Hamilton Howard. Sculford kicked the ball inside forward 50. Well disposed of the ball, and then he just threw an elbow almost to the back of his head, and it was right in front of the umpire as well. Umpire set us no more than 5 metres away in the prime position to call that. So
Why do you do that as a player? What's the value in doing something like that?
I just don't know. I just really don't know.
That's why we're up here, is Kiop Thiok. League best and fairest winner. Right foot kick on its way, straight through the middle. They've got 2 in a minute, and Aspley, they break out to their game-high lead, 11 points.
Well, Jack, you talked about Broadbeach having the run on the outside, but it's the bigger bodies for Aspley in the middle, winning the contested footy, and that time Sculfer getting the run and the kick in the entry inside forward 50. And this game now, all of a sudden, only 4 minutes into the second half, takes on a very different complexion.
And as we spoke about in the first quarter, they had their opportunities in the first quarter. They didn't nail them, but they've nailed them in the third term. So here they are now, 44, 11-point leaders, 6-8, 44, leading Broadbeach 5-3, 33, coming up to the 4.5 minute mark, third term.
It's hard to see here because of the way the camera's angled, but we've actually got a heap of Aspley or Hornets fans set up in a bit of a nest on the left forward pocket here, and they're starting to have an influence on this match. You could probably hear them through your effects, Mike. They're very happy at the moment.
Kick forward the last 5 here, the Hornets.
Tap out, trying to get the ball clear. Here's a chance for O'Neill. Swoops on the ball, taps the ball forward. Now's a chance for a clearance through Dawson as he goes forward. And it's a nice mark in defence for Aspley. Starting to get on top here. Looking around. Kick long. And why wouldn't you? Up they go. No one can take the mark. Spills free. Broadbeach get their hands on it. They kick forward again. Suits the Brave. No one can take the mark. Bank Smith went for it. Trying to get the ball now. They've got to kick inside 50, but it's going to be too long and wide, and it's going to go straight into the hands of Sherwood.
So Sherwood for the Hornets across right half back. Some good quality time in the seniors team this year. Become a better player for it. Big fly there from behind there from Harms. Comes down to Broadbeach, back inside the forward 50. Comes out now to McGuinness. McGuinness is well beaten there to it by Crawley, which has been the standard flavour of the day. Margin cut back to 10 points.
Yeah, a bit of experience there. Just got his hands in there to tap it through. So Aspley will reset from the goal line. 10-point ball game. They'll bring the ball up towards the commentary wing. Up they go. Hull couldn't take the mark, and there's a nice mark once again to Aspley. Their eyes are darting around. He kicks down the line. Pack setting themselves, looking for Nellis. But it's a lovely mark. And taking front position. Strong mark there for Zanka Close. He sends the ball across towards Dawson. Here's a chance for Dawson. He plays on quickly, sending it wide over the top, and they're away. He'll have a chance to take a bounce if he wants. He decides not to. Gets onto the left foot, kicks it forward, looking there for Sam Smith. Bank Smith, he can't take the mark. Suddenly under pressure, trying to keep the ball alive is Broadbeach. Clever play, can't get the kick away. Good pressure, and they'll clear the ball out of bounds. Sorry, out and down along the line.
Howard again. Rides the tackle, recovers well like a slippery eel, gets a little toe poke, goes 5 metres, but it did enough. They'll put the ball up towards the top of the square, you would think, or go that little bit longer. Off hands, minus score, margin back to 9 points in favour of the Hornets.
Just a bit of a concern for the Hornets at the moment. Jesse Doherty went down in a contest there, and it took a long time to get up, and he's up now, still on the field, but he was holding one of his arms. Hopefully he hasn't hurt his wrist too badly and is able to continue on with the game, but I think this extra player on the bench, the extra rotation for the Hornets is working at the moment, just really allowing them the fresh legs onto the field and tiring out some of the Broadbeach youngsters.
Ball moves out on the wing, but it's been chopped off. Here's a chance for Broadbeach. They want the next one. They want it quickly. A quick inside, but it's going to suit the numbers of Aspley, who can't take the mark. Spills over the back, a quick left foot kick, and he's kicked it through. And it's a goal to Harry McGuinness. So he's been thereabouts all day long. He's finally got a bit of reward for his effort, and he puts through the 6th goal for Broadbeach. Broadbeach 6-5-41, now trailing Aspley 6-8-44.
Well, Tony Pollard, the Broadbeach coach, won't be happy with that entry because it was to a 1-on-2 in Aspley's favour. But what he will love is the work of Harry McInnes. He's been well held so far today by Mitchell Crawley. Look, he's threatened at times to get one out the back, and he was really good there to get back to ground level and then finish well. You know, you don't get too many opportunities in grand finals, so you've got to make the most of them when they come along, and McInnes has done so on that occasion. It'll be interesting to see if that kind of kick starts him into the game. It does give Broadbeach, well, not back the lead, but they're within a kick now, and that's pretty important, Chris, as we reach over 8.5 minutes in this third quarter.
Absolutely, and also a bit of Stephen Bradbury about that one. They all fell over except McInnes. He was the lucky one to keep his footing and got the finish that he's worked so hard for, as conditions really starting to heat up here and the ground is hot, the action is hot. And it's grand final day at its finest, as repeating the scores in the Colts. It was Maroochydore by 8 points over Palm Beach Currumbin. Ty Gallup, Besterfield with 4 goals. As the ball goes up towards high half forward here for the Cats. Look away, handball now. Kick back inside the forward 50. The kick was okay initially, but the mark has been taken there by Mason O'Sullivan.
Here's a chance now. Take the ball away. Now he just feigns the handball as long again. Now he takes him. Oh, he's going to be in trouble. He's going to be in trouble. He's dropped the ball. Play on's a call. A nice pick up by Broadbeach. A shot on goal. Swinging around. Is he going to get there? Right on the last line of defence. There's a great mark there by Sherwood. Sherwood now. Nice little deft touch. Finds his teammate in the back pocket there. Now goes down along the line. He's got another man. Oh, it's a lovely jump and mark there to Bentley. Bentley asking for more movement up the field. Off one step. Sets it alight. Over the top. Nellis can't get the ball. Harrop's there. Can he try and get the ball? Do a strong tackle. And the ball goes over the line and out of bounds.
We've seen today, Jack, a lot of the attacking play for both games so far happen on this far side of the ground. Do you think either side will be content to bring the ball this side, commentary side, and try and lock it down, or will they want to attack?
It looks like they're going to attack from the far side, as you said. That's where most of the play's been done most of the day. We haven't seen too many goals kicked from this side of the field, but if they have been, they've been miraculous.
I think for Broadbeach, they don't want to burn the opportunity they've got with the win this quarter. We probably saw that happen in the Colts with Palm Beach. Didn't make the most of going right of screen.
Yeah, they kind of just flicked the switch later on in the piece. By then, they were too far gone in the context of the game that was relatively low scoring, as Broadbeach back inside the forward 50. McInnes just out-muscled Crowley, and Mason O'Sullivan, who was the substitute in the senior team when Liam Dawson went down with an arm injury, and he more than held his own, making his debut, and has come back as an extraordinary player, as a push. Good use of the body, in fact, as Major here for the Cats, looking for Hull there at half forward, and I've been pumping him up, and he does a delightful spoil. Boundary throw in, attacking zone here for Broadbeach.
We've talked a lot about it today, but this McInnes-Crawley matchup's entered another phase here because Crawley's allowing a lot of separation to McInnes, and he's really got to be careful with that with this win, because we don't know exactly how it's going to go. We've seen McInnes kick his side's only goal this quarter. He's just starting to threaten a bit more.
Chadwick onto the field for Broadbeach, and he just overruns the ball as we speak now. Handball over the top, and a quick kick away by Aspley. The kick for, is the umpire going to say deliberate? No. I thought he might have been gone there, so a throw in.
Sculfer's going to come onto the field, captain for the Hornets, and straight into this stoppage.
Quock's put his hand up to go head-to-head with
Dawson.
Quock in the front spot, Dawson out the back. Good clearance, handball away. Quick kick away by McGurran, and a nice mark in front, inside 50, and he's already kicked one today. This is Mac Herring. He's taken a mark. You're kicking from around about 40 metres from goal.
Just more clearance dominance from Aspley that time, resulting in a shot on goal.
And speaking of goals that were kicked on this side of the ground, Mac Herring kicked that goal from outside 50 on this side.
Well shepherded through by his teammates, if I recall.
Oh, absolutely. It's beautiful.
Coming in for his second today, Mac Herring, the big 56. Head over the ball. It's a beautiful kick off the boot, and it went right through the middle like an axe through a nice piece of timber. And that is Aspley's 7th goal for the day.
Their third goal of the quarter too, and that's probably been a bit of a story since quarter time. Aspley, they've kicked 5 goals too. So they were very inaccurate and wasteful with their chances in the first quarter, but since then they've straightened up their goal kicking, and it's really starting to have an effect on the scoreboard.
13-minute mark, Aspley 7-8-50, leading Broadbeach 6-5-41. It's a 9-point ball game, and the ball's back in Broadbeach's court. Over to you now. Can you get the next one?
Well, I think for them it just needs to come from the clearances. It's a contested ball. It's a grand final. There's no easy possession out here. We know, Jack, that we've spoken about how quick they are on the outside, but if they're not getting their hands on the footy first, it's very hard work.
They're heavily tagged into Chadwick in the middle of the ground. They know he's an important player.
The ball might sort of come out to his general vicinity, although we will have a restart there. And if I was the coach, Tony Pollard of Broadbeach, keep Tane Dawson in the ruck for the rest of the game.
There should actually be a 6-6-6 warning here, because both sides don't have players in. They've got an extra in the centre square.
Probably not used to it in the reserves here, I think, are they?
True.
Kick inside the forward 50 there from O'Neill there for the Cats. Sort of bounce 25 metres out from goal. Hard up there on the boundary line, and that scoots away from him. We'll see a boundary throw in. So, yeah, I don't know that we often see a 6-6 rule come into play a bit in the reserves and Colts. But you're right, the restart there. So, boundary throw in, 9 points the margin. 8 points was the full-time margin in the Colts. Right foot kick, beautiful. Just had a little bit more time, a little bit of poise, up towards centre half forward. Arching the back nicely. There's Jez Butler, and he puts it straight through. Margin back to 3, 14 and a half gone in the third.
Oh, Butler, give me the ball. I'm heading straight down the middle of the ground, and bang.
It's the result they wanted, Broadbeach, but I think they would have rather it come from a set shot instead of a kick that kind of bounced at Butler. Fortunately, it worked out for him, and then just no one from Aspley bothered to chase, and in the end a pretty easy goal and a much needed one. Gets the margin back to within a kick. This game seesawing.
Just a good little kick across half forward as well, as opposed to sort of blazing long. Good
composure from the Cats as well. They haven't had a lot of inside 50s today, but they have been very efficient when going forward. I always find with grand finals we always want to be in front by as far as possible, but in Broadbeach's case, I think they just want to be in with a chance to win this game at three-quarter time, because if they are, anything can happen. And this is why Coach Michael Smith of Aspley would be really happy, because you think they would be in.
Well, there's a bit of a change happening. Crawley taking a spell. His opponent, McGuinness, is on the wing. So he's playing further up the ground. So I just wonder whether they're going to just try and get McGuinness more around the ball and create some greater options inside that forward 50 here, the Cats. The Hornets are pressing. No prior opportunity as McGuinness squeezed out a handball now, and the Cats are off to the races. Up towards centre half forward. A couple of Hornets went up, but more Cats stayed down. There's Sam Banks-Smith trying to work his way out of it. And the Hornets now, they're away.
Through the middle of the ground, they'll go up short and they'll find Nellis on the lead. Nellis will quickly lean around and launch. Just a nice little chip kick. Can't find his teammate. Ball spills free. Pressure. Nellis swimming back on the ball, trying to pick it up off one grab. He can't get below his knees. Gets bumped off the ball. Dives on top of it. Here's a chance now. They'll go forward. A little fake kick off the ground there by Owens. Handball over the top. Here's a chance now. Can they butter this up and make the most of it? Just goes in, has a look, but it's a good smother, and Broadbeach will clear.
Up towards the middle of the ground, but the clearance will only be temporary as Nick Scolfer back inside the forward 50, tries to find a teammate on the lead, and Lonergan marks 45 metres out from goal.
That's a great entry inside forward 50 from Scolfer. Could not have kicked that any better, and great vision to go to space as well. They had a kick inside before that was smothered when they were looking to go inboard. Just took too long to get there, but Scolfer stands up and can be counted in the vital moments as captain of this Aspley Hornets side.
Sometimes those shallow forward 50 entries are more beneficial as Lonergan pulls the trigger from 50 metres out from goal. It'll go up towards the top of the square, towards Kyop Dock, and eventually take it through for a rush behind. Margin extending back out to 4 points.
Broadbeach to bring the ball back. Whoops, bring the ball back in. As they've got something falling behind me. As he's going to bring the ball back in. He handballs over the top. Kick the ball long, out on the wing. Can he take the ball? Now he's got the ball inside. Sorry, lost commentary there for a second. Here's a chance at the back of the pack. No one can take the mark. Spills over the top. And it'll be a ball up inside the forward 50 for Broadbeach. 7-5-47. Broadbeach trailing Aspley, 7:9:51. Approaching the 18-minute mark. Can they manufacture anything here from this stoppage? Umpire will have it again.
I think the bogey is going to be the dangerous one here. He gets on the move very nicely.
Yeah, here we go, handball at the top. Feeds back. Trying a chance to run the ball, but you're happy to see it go over the lines. We see the crowd starting to build. You spoke about the big Hornets nest over there. Of course, the next grand final with Redland Victoria Point taking on reigning champions Aspley. So looking for a big crowd as they start to come through. Well, this QAFL action today.
Well, conditions gracing us here today. Conditions on the field just as hot. Ball inside the forward line here for the Cats. They squeeze one out towards the top of the square. Hull might be the player here to have an impact. There he is. Here for the Cats, dancing around, and he's corralled to the boundary line there by Mason O'Sullivan, boundary throwing.
He won't mind that because he didn't have anything to go to. Aspley defended that well.
If maybe he could have pulled something out of his back pocket there, but that just highlights how highly I rate Mason O'Sullivan as a backman. His improvement this year has been nothing short of extraordinary as the Hornets now squeezing the kick out now. Tane Dawson be the player in the gun. Kelthock was able to stand up, bring the ball to ground. Herring now runs into Thock. Nice little pass to Crowley. Kicks it out of bounds on the full.
Oh, you're nearly in for a mark there, Chris.
Oh well, our camera gear got a little bit of tap there as our umpires toss that ball back in. Umpire.afl, get involved next year. We've got plenty of good Queensland umpires getting involved in high levels. You can too.
Bring the ball back into play. Here's a chance now as Jasper drives it long. Oh, what a beauty! A lovely big grab up forward. It looked like that was Charles Bertoli. And it's a great strong mark inside forward 50. He'll probably kick it from about 50 metres, maybe 48. A much needed goal will put them in front.
You can see the flags behind the goals indicate the wind's going left to right here, so somewhere, maybe a metre inside the left goal post here, Jack, for this kick.
I think so. If he aims it up, I think aim it nice and high might be one of the tips to do. Nice deliberate approach. Bit of a skip. He launches. It looks pretty good. Is it going to stay? It just didn't hold its line. Through for one behind, and that says 6 points for the day. So 7-6. 48 to Aspley now 7:9:51.
We've kicked into time on in the third quarter. Very interesting game. We've got a cracking final quarter, you think, coming up here at Giffen Park.
There's 1 point that separated the two sides at half-time, and Aspley have been in front since the opening 2.5 minutes. Despite the fact that the Cats have clawed their way back on numerous occasions, they haven't been able to hit the front despite their numerous shots on goal. 3 points the margin here. Tick it out to 11, which was a game-high lead after Aspley pulled the trigger twice in quick succession. As the ball goes out towards the outer side, Herring marks just inside the boundary line. He's got an option deep in Royal and Nellis. So that will go out towards the pair of them. Big fly there from behind. It frees up Owens. He's stripped of it straight away. Umpire said no prior opportunity. The crowd still go bananas. Ball goes out towards the boundary line. Howard taken down by Owens. Very good recovery work. And the Cats are away.
Kick ball in through the middle of the ground. The ball bounces over the top. Can the Cats get the clearance? No, they can't. Greatly taken away there by Bentley as he drives it inside for. Oh, a strong mark. A beauty. Well, he launched himself there, young Riley Owens, and took a strong mark and will have a shot about 30 metres out on a small angle.
Loved his work over the last couple of minutes, Riley. And he's had a very good game overall. I think he's kicked, 3 goals today and really igniting this forward line here for the Hornets.
I think we've got him down for 1 at the moment. Sorry, Chris. I think his teammate in Clem McKenzie's got 3. But yeah, very dangerous, very lively, very fast as well. And that time throwing himself with no regard for his own safety at the ball. The chaos entry inside forward 50 for Aspley. He's brought about a lot of shots on goal today.
Yep, and I've also liked some of the tap work from Harms in the ruck has really given first use of the ball. Starting to get on top there. Coming in for his shot on goal. Nice deliberate approach, as we've been saying today. He sets it up there. They're going to swing across. It's going to swing right through the middle, and he's up and about, and he pumps his fist. And that's a good goal. to Riley Owens, who's been impressive today. Kicks his second, as said. And that now pushes Aspley out to 8-9-57, leading Broadbeach 7-6-48. We've played 23-minute mark, third term.
Reward for effort for the Hornets. They've kicked 4 goals to 2 this quarter, and I think they'd be really happy, and Coach Michael Smith, the fact they've had the game on their terms probably for the best part of 2.5 quarters today at Giffen Park.
Yeah, I think they started the game with 1 goal 6, so we're trying to get there through behinds Aspley.
Vast contrast to the last time these two teams played just a fortnight ago, where Broadbeach came away 32-point winners. But there's still a lot of time left in this game of football, and anything could happen.
Well, the longer this game goes on, the heat is increasing as Chadwick stripped without it.
Actually, that should be 50 metres.
And Brandon Chadwick will go back and convert, you'd think.
Well, this has been interesting. They've been able to answer back when they've had to, and here's now that opportunity to get their 8th goal today if they can, and they're still looking for another one.
I must admit, actually, I don't think this is a 50-metre penalty. I think it's more like a 35 or perhaps a 40-metre penalty. Chadwick's not happy as well.
Well, if you should be standing 30 metres out from goal, but...
Oh, wow.
But Chadwick can kick the distance, though.
This is an interesting one, isn't it? Because the third umpire can't come in and tell him that's only 35 metres.
Well, it's not going to deter Chadwick at all because he can kick the distance and then some. So he pulls the trigger from 52 metres out from goal.
He's got it.
No problems.
Oh!
You can put me 80 metres out, I still would have kicked that, says Benjamin. Or Brandon, I should say. And they cut the margin back to 3 points as we head into three-quarter time.
What a crazy last minute in the premiership quarter we've seen here at Giffen Park. A goal for both sides, including one from Brandon Chadwick that you chisel from outside 50 after a 50-metre penalty. And Jack Barry, that sets us up for a fascinating finish here.
Oh, grab yourself some lunch, cut yourself a sandwich, get a cold drink, and be here for the final quarter before we lead into our big QAFL Grand Final early on. Looking forward to it.
Welcome back here to Giffen Park. A couple of minutes away from the final quarter of this QAFL Reserves Grand Final starting. A goal after the siren. It's number 1 from Broadbeach. Brendan Chadwick has reduced the margin to 3 points after Aspley kicked 4 goals to 3 in that third term. It's very hot. Broadbeach are down 1 on the bench. Interested to see how they run this game out. They're playing the 3 tools in Watson, Dawson and Dempsey C. Rotated them through the ruck as well. Aspley have probably been the better side for 3 quarters so far today, Chris, but as I said, at some point during that third quarter, you just want to be in with a chance at 3/4 time in a grand final.
Absolutely. I think the biggest problem that the Cats have is that they haven't been able to kick back-to-back goals. I don't think they've done it since... Well, they haven't done it since the first term, where they went from 3 points down to 9 points up in the space of 6 minutes. So in that time, Aspley have sort of taken stranglehold of the game. So it's been a long time.
What we've seen today is Aspley dominate a lot of the centre clearances, get on top with the contested football, and then Broadbeach have kind of relied on a running, counter-attacking game to kind of counter that. So I just think with a quarter to go, if the Cats can break even in the middle, anything could happen, Jack Barry.
Yeah, here we go. All the action in this final quarter of the QAFL Reserve Grade Grand Final here for 2023. It's a Broadbeach Cats trailing Aspley by 3 points as the umpire bounces the ball in the centre of the ground, and Dawson gets the first tap, and it's going to be cleared away by Aspley as they drive the ball inside forward 50. The ball bounces over the top. The numbers are going to suit Broadbeach as they swoop on the ball, handball over the top. Nice play. Looking for their teammate under pressure. He finds it, and they've got the switch out in the outfield. No, Brian gets the ball, goes inboard, and the ruckman and Dawson takes the mark. He quickly moves the ball onto Chadwick. Chadwick in open space, trying to draw his player onto it. Switching around and turning around is Brown. Handballs over the top, trying to keep the ball alive. Big strong tackle there as Hines tries to win the footy but can't, and the umpire will throw the ball up.
Brilliant ball movement by the Cats, going by hand into the wind. Haven't seen them do that too often today, Chris.
They certainly haven't, but all is on the line here in this last quarter, including the hopes of a premiership. We saw the second place Broadbeach, Maroochydore win the flag in the Colts. Broadbeach are the minor premiers this year, looking to try and do the same. The ball on the outer side, off the boot there of Ben O'Brien, up towards Watson, and Sam Banks-Smith intervenes. He gets first crack at the cherry, and he'll mark and have a shot on goal. I think that's him.
Basically both taking the mark uncontested against any Aspley opponents, are both allowed to run and leap at the footy.
He's been strong in the air today, hasn't he? He's given them a real presence, something to kick to all day.
And they've needed, because McInnes, as we've talked about so often, has been well held by Crawley.
Yeah, we sort of, that's probably still been a win for Broadbeach if they get up today, to be able to take Crawley out of the contest by effectively tagging him out of the game, because he's been tagging McInnes.
The analogy is it's like a game of chess. Sorry, you sacrifice. Well, I don't think McInnes is a pawn, but he's had to be today, and a sacrificial one at that for the Cats.
Well, he came into this game, I think, in the semi-final, he kicked 7 goals against the Hornets. So I think that's probably where the Hornets knew that there was a match up there with Crawley at their disposal.
And that might be him leaving the field very gingerly at the moment.
Yeah, a bit of collateral damage there.
Sam Banks-Smith. The back-to-back goals here for the Cats. And he's just missed to the far side. Minor score, margin back to 2 points.
Just hear the crowd wait to see how that kick went. The wind's played tricky at both ends today, although it is favouring the team kicking to the right of screen.
2 point ball game. They'll bring the ball out in front of the commentary wing. It's a long kick. Nellis is there. Can he take the mark? Goes over the back. Swooping on top of the ball. Broadbeach get to the ball first. Nellis wraps him up in the tackle. It looks like Hull has hurt himself, or just a bit of a cramp. He's an important player of this last quarter. Can give him a real option up forward. Umpire throws the ball up. The ruck's a battle was, and lovely tap out there by Dawson. Chadwick's there. He's been strong all day. The player's gone down in back play. That looks like that was
Hamilton Howard.
Hamilton Howard's gone down, yep. So
I've really liked his game today too, Hamilton Howard.
Yeah. He made a bad mistake giving away a 50-metre penalty and a goal in the third quarter, but since then he's been quite good.
Dawson taps, but straight to Aspley as he's wrapped up in the tackle.
Just having a look at Aspley's forward line at the moment. Broadbeach have got a spare back, but I like how they've moved James Nellis up the field a bit this quarter, early on, to get him involved in his experience. Vitally important for the Hornets.
Harrop kicks down the line, over the top. Oh, he went up one-handed, and that spills free. And then wrapping the ball up, keeping the ball alive. They don't want to get sucked in with the ball. And the umpire says, I'll have it, thank you.
Jasper, with the ball, elected to dive towards the ground, perhaps hoping to draw a free kick, but both rucks continue. Comes out now to O'Brien. O'Brien here for the Cats, up towards high half forward, over the head of his intended target there in the hole. All 50 metres out from goal now.
Clever. Just going to quickly say, clever play by O'Neill. They're just in traffic, stepped inside, released the ball, and they got an out run.
I was going to say, brilliant work ruck work there by Dawson as Howard comes to the bench, puts a bit of water on his head. It is hot out there, even though it's only 25 degrees.
Oh, expecting a lot of cramping coming out for the rest of the game. Almost survival of the fittest as a
high tackle. I think the out-of-zone umpires paid a free kick to Aspley. He's in the correct position to make that call.
That's why we've got some of the best umpires in the business. Admire what they do as Scolfer just come onto the ground. He's awarded with the free kick.
Ruckman for Aspley Harms has come to the bench for a rest.
Kick up towards the commentary wing now. Dawson beaten to it there by Herring. Butler there, falls to ground, tripped over his own feet. Full momentum out towards O'Neill, looking for Dawson. Underground handball there from Aspley. Hasn't got much to go ahead, so he's got to kick it out towards space. Which way will it bounce? It'll bounce fortuitously here for Broadbeach. Though he's corralled towards the boundary line. Lovely work, off a step, kick around the body. Butler there with the spoil. We'll see a throw in commentary side of the ground.
He's had a decent last quarter so far. Butler been really hard at it and a couple of crucial hand passes. That time the defensive spoil to concede the boundary throw and kicked a pretty handy goal in the third quarter too.
5 minutes gone, tempo's just starting to lift a little bit. Coach is barking instruction from each of the boxes. Umpire throws the ball in. Dawson, unattacked, no one near on him. He jumps the ball forward. Here's a chance now. They'll clear the ball out, Aspley. They could have done better than that then. They had a full use of the ball.
Aspley had two spare players at the stoppage there, and McGurran was one of them. Just game awareness there from Dawson. Just needs to be a little better and know he can grab the ball out of the ruck in that instance and throw it on the boot.
Major goes short to Finn. Finn looking inboard. He kicks it high. He's trying to shepherd Dawson out of it. Quick kick, smothered. Under pressure, tackled high. Umpire didn't see it. I played on. Yep. Umpire from down the ground did. And it'll be a free kick, and it was there.
Yeah, it was on the umpire further down the field was on this angle.
They launched the ball forward into the forward zone. Can they take a mark? Oh, he's taking a grab. It's a good mark. I think that looks like it's Callum Royal. Big grab up forward. He was just sitting on the bench here just not long ago. He just had a quick interchange, had a bit of a breather, and he's clunked one about 30 metres out from goal.
Well, Broadbeach have been one down on the bench since half-time, unfortunately, since Kyle Clark went off with an injury. And I think Aspley have been able to use that spare or that extra rotation to their advantage.
Royal to put the ninth through for the day. This is a crucial goal. If he can get this one, it'll give him the breathing space thereafter. On the left foot, comes in and does no trouble whatsoever. He slots it straight through. Great goal there to number 16, Callum Royal.
Margin out to 8 points, nearly 7 minutes gone in this final quarter here at Giffen Park. The wind's blowing and crowds getting right into this game. You can see on the far side of the field, we've got some cars parked around the boundary line, which is fantastic to see. Both sets of supporters, Aspley have got a big nest set up to the left of screen in the forward pocket, and I think Broadbeach are right next to their coach's box here on the right-hand side, and that's kind of who I think Royal was gesturing to after kicking that goal, Chris.
There certainly was. There's not a lot of love lost here between the two sides. Terrific goal there from Royal. And it goes back to the issue that the Cats have, is that they have not kicked back-to-back goals since early in the second term, and they've closed the margin to less than 10 points on numerous occasions before Aspley have sent the ball margin back out as the ball goes up towards high half forward, up towards Royal again. Bounces in his favour, handballs out now to Lonergan. Squeezing the kick out there to a teammate. Long way out from goal. He's got Nellis deep towards the top of the square, and that's where it'll go. Nellis! Off hands there from the Cats. Here's an opportunity. Owens! He's stripped off it straight away. Ball at the top of the goal square. Rush behind would just be what Broadbeach need. It's not going to happen just yet. And we'll see a stoppage on the very last line of defence.
Clever play there by Chapman. 2 possessions, one ball out of the middle, then pushed himself forward and then won the ball again to have another kick inside 50. Great work by Aspley Chapman.
Very quickly, good to see Mitch Crawley up on the bench waiting to come back onto the field of play.
And this is going to be a free kick, I think, for the Cats. So
Well, we've seen one of them today. It went against Maroochydore and the Colts.
Well, the ruling here is if from a stoppage. Yep. So the rule here is if the ball is tapped out of bounds or through for a rush behind on the full, it's essentially out on the full. So it doesn't matter if it goes out of bounds, but if it goes out of bounds without touching the ground from a ruck hit, a ruck stoppage, then it's a free kick.
I don't think I've seen it all year, and I've seen it twice today in the exact same part of this ground.
So Aspley around the body, maybe the one to seal it. You betcha! It's party time here for the Hornets. They got a sting in their step.
I reckon that's Royal.
Number 35 it was, yeah.
Number 35.
Banks.
Josh Banks steps up to the plate and he's high-fiving everyone all the way back up to the middle of the ground.
So 9.5 minutes gone. Margin at 14, not insurmountable, but the momentum is with the Hornets.
Crucial next clearance.
Absolutely. We've seen Broadbeach streak away a couple of times today from the middle. Grand final, so that extra bit of contested footy makes it that little bit harder. What have the young legs of Broadbeach got? They've had a lot of questions thrown at them by Aspley today, especially in the midfield unit. What's Dawson got up his sleeve? He's had a great battle with Harms. Ruck's been brilliant all day.
Quick kick off the ground. Here's a chance. Can they get the ball out wide? Chadwick, been solid today, gets on the left foot. Nice little hit up lead. Hull takes the mark. He's been taken to ground. Will he get 50? Whoa, no, he just says get back. Off one step. He's pushed forward. That's good play there. I think that might be Hamilton Howard. Now he launches on the left foot. Looking for a big grab. Can they get one at the back? Spills free. Roved there off the pack there by Aspley in defence. They'll kick around the corner, just dump that ball out of that back line. Dawson trying to take the mark. Switching, looking in under trouble, looking for Hull. And it's just taken over the ball there by Schoenmaker. And the ball will be thrown back into play.
Change here on the interchange bench. Watson coming on the ground for Dawson.
I think he's going straight into the ruck as well. Had to signal to let the umpire know. Aspley got a spare at this stoppage. I think it's Harrop in the headgear there.
So rucks go up, comes down the ground. O'Neill was the intended target. Good tackle laid. And we'll see a stoppage. And should the siren sound and Aspley are victorious, if you're a fan of numbers, then Redland Victoria Point, look out. If the two minor premiers have gone down to the opening two grand finals, as Sculfo tries to work his way out of that tough contest, and we'll see a stoppage right on the paint, the AFL paint. Jack Barry with the call.
Well, this is a bit of me time right in the middle of the beautiful paintwork here. The cameras are rolling right across Australia. Up they go. Oh, lovely little tap out the back. He'll try and butter up and win the ball again. Broadbeach got to get the critical, got to win this next ball if they want to stay in this game. 55 plays 69, 11 minutes, approaching the 12-minute mark of the final term.
They need the next goal.
Need the next clearance. Just break it right down. Goes over the top. Broadbeach is second to the ball. They've got to get in there first. Head over the ball. That's better. Now dump kick forward. Here's a chance now for Banks Smith if he can get his hands on the ball. Quick play, handball over the top. Oh, he's going to be under pressure. He's fallen to the ground, Howard. And then that'll give an opportunity for Aspley to clear the ball out wide.
Foot race on the outer side there. Aspley with the extra number around this contest. Broadbeach trying to get some numbers back and able the turnover to be forced. Up and under handball out there to Jasper. Over the top there to his teammate, who is hard up there on the boundary line. He'll just centre up towards the top of the goal square because he's got Sam Banks-Smith in a 2-on-1. Too strong, too good.
Lovely weighted kick, and Aspley just allowing Banks-Smith plenty of separation, and then in the end all that was required was a well-weighted kick, and that's what Broadbeach got.
He had two to beat, and you're right, a little bit of body work, separation you spoke about, and his hands have been pretty sure today.
And it didn't need to be both Aspley players putting the bodywork on. One to engage, one to come through and punch the ball away.
So Sam Banks-Smith here for the Cats. The crowd is going nuts. It's not deterring him at all. Margin back to 8 points, and Charles Bertoli take a bow with that stunning kick.
So Banks-Smith has his first for the game. Margin 8 points, 13 minutes gone, final quarter. What do we have? 3 goals this quarter, so you think we might have maybe 8-9 minutes to go. Having a look around the comm box, and I'm getting some nods, which means I think I'm right that we don't have the timekeepers up here with us today. They're in another box well away where they can perform their duties. And this grand final's got just about everything except a specky. I don't reckon we've had one yet.
Not yet.
Maybe we might get one in the last 10 minutes here, but I tell you what, the boundary line broadcast side is absolutely packed with spectators. Can see the Hornet for the Hornets down there as well. Must be getting very excited as we enter the last stage of this game, Jack.
Watch out for O'Neill. He needs to get this clearance. He's the one with the leg speed that can dart out of that middle there. He's getting heavily tagged by Chapman. Up they go. Chapman over the top. Punches forward. Here's a chance and cleared away. Great work there by Aspley. Is dumped away there by Banks. Ball bounces inside forward 50. Can they get the reply straight away? Good solid tackles. The forward pressure's fantastic, and of course the turnover. Great forward pressure there by Aspley. There's a bit going on. They didn't like the tackle, but it was a nice, hard tackle.
I think it's going to be Alexander Barnes won the free kick, have a shot on goal here.
And Barnes will have a shot from about, again, probably have a shot from about 50 out.
Just not what Broadbeach needed. You know, they got the goal to get back into it, and they've just given up a few centre clearances today at times where they just can't allow it, basically. And this is one of those times.
Yeah, and full credit to Banks, who got that clearance out of the middle there, coming in for her shot on goal. He kicked it nice and high. It's going to go right into the goal. It's got a little loop, reach over the top. I think it will. That's a big goal, and it's the answer. Been able to answer it straight back. And Aspley now 11-9-75, leading Broadbeach 9-7-61. We've played this on 15 minutes.
Alexander Barnes getting on the scoreboard for the first time today with that goal. Seen a couple of great goals from that distance. Good exhibition of goal kicking since quarter time. A lot of behinds in the first quarter. I think we had 9 in total, but we've only had 5 between the two teams since then.
This highlights Broadbeach's inability to kick back-to-back goals because it's going to hurt them again. Aspley have done it multiple times in this lead.
Well, they haven't done it since the first quarter, I think, Chris, and they're now going to have to kick 3 goals to win this game, and I think that's all there's going to be time left for them to do so.
Well, the longest quarter was the second quarter. That did go 26.5 minutes. There was 6 goals kicked in that one. Last quarter went for 24 minutes with 7 goals, so we are miles away from the timekeeper's box, and in the reality of keeping the theatre alive, that's great for us.
We've seen Aspley move Flock into the ruck in the last couple of minutes. Been a very smart move, I think, by Michael Smith. Just an injection of speed into the midfield for them.
Up towards the commentary wing now. Aspley will push inside the forward 50 again. Lovely kick. Couldn't quite find the target there in Nellis. Comes out now to Owens inside the forward 50. Royal is pouncing around here for the Hornets. He might come into it now as the Cats squeezing the kick out haphazardly up towards Hull. Just got the handball away in the nick of time. Batoli, he's wrapped up beautifully right on the edge of the goal square. We'll have a ball up. Aspley's attacking zone.
Cats have got to start taking risks now. And you saw a little bit of that ball movement there. Just didn't quite get out where they wanted. But that's what they need to do. They need to get back in this game. No one gets a clear tap out. Here we're going to get a clearance now. That's good play. Taken away by O'Brien. He kicks the ball forward. They're wrestling. Who's holding who? Umpire says no one. Play on's a call. Ball bouncing free. Solid tackle by Bank Smith. Is he caught with the ball? He got rid of it in time. And a nice little chip kick and cleared away out there towards Gould. Gould just holding it up.
They've got one out this side right in front of us here in the comm box. Aspley, you've seen him now.
It's a nice kick out, and he's found Shupler. Again going short just off the bench. Here's a big ruckman. Nice mark there to Harms. And big Harms just winds the clock down.
It's the message from the bench, right in front of his own coaches, telling him to slow it down.
Serviceable game. He kicks the ball long and high. Pack set themselves. Body work done by Nellis at ground level. Here's a chance for Broadbeach. They'll clear the ball. A bit of bumping going on. Oh, good solid mark there to Dawson. He's been fantastic today.
Aspley got 2 spare behind the ball at the moment. Actually make that almost 3 because they got that one in the middle locking up an opponent too, and now Harms is getting back behind the ball for the Hornets.
We've got, is that one got cramp on the outer side as the ball will go up towards high half. Forward, big fly there from Watson. His teammate was in the wrong postcode there. Handball over the top there from Batoli. Here's Sam Banks-Smith. Must kick this goal. Does kick this goal. Game on here at Cooperoo. He's got 2 for the quarter.
Well, it's Banks-Smith against the Hornets at the moment. Although I must say that was a brilliant hand pass by Charles Batoli. allowing his teammate to run into an open goal.
Oh, he just kept his feet through there, didn't panic. He waited for the right option, and then and that nice handball over the top, and he finished it off beautifully.
And I tell you what, Jack, we nearly had that specky from Sean Watson. He got up the big ruckman, but just couldn't take the grab. As we see Broadbeach, they're bringing Babogi to the bench here in place for Butler, who's going to come on. He looks a bit ginger. 18.5 minutes gone. Margin is 8 points the favour of the Hornets.
Well, that's the second time that Batoli and Sam Banks-Smith have joined forces in this quarter. Both have resulted in goals to Sam Banks-Smith.
They haven't had back-to-back goals since the first quarter, Broadbeach, and they need it now.
Bounce of the ball. Big fist. Big clearance by Aspley. That's great play. Jumped on tightly, and Owens can't get rid of the ball. He's happy to lock it in there.
Harms has had a couple of hit-outs like that today where his hit-out's been as good as a kick.
Tap forward onto the side here. Can they get a clearance? Aspley will get it. Nice little weighted handball. Now a dump kick inside forward 50. Ball bounces out of bounds. Umpire says throw it in, thank you.
There's some of the best players thinking already in the later stages of the game.
Some of the blokes I've liked across today, in no particular order, but for Broadbeach, Chadwick, Banks-Smith, Hull, O'Neill, Dawson. And an umpire throws the ball back in. Dawson again, nice tap out. And the blokes have like Crawley, have like Sherwood, McKenzie's been good, Harrop showing a bit, Owens, O'Sullivan, so Harm. So there's been a few there. It's hard to narrow it right down.
It's been a hard game, hasn't it?
I'll just give you the net. You can narrow it down.
O'Brien there with the tackle. There for Broadbeach.
We're going to have to narrow it down in a couple of minutes at least, Jack, because I think we've got the votes for today's game here. It's one-on-ones all around the ground.
Even Chapman's been good, hasn't he?
He has.
Around the ball, so.
Just about they're ticking the time on in this final quarter.
It's a tough game of football as Dawson wraps up his opponent, and that will be holding the ball. Free kick. Going to go to Tane Dawson. They've got to move like grease lightning here, and he can't play on forward of the mark. Lonergan's still pleading his case. The umpire is not responding accordingly. Dawson now looking for Watson. The kick will just go over his head. He's able to get the spoil. Ball comes to ground. Bentley here. Bentley, like a Rolls Royce, just gets the kick away up towards half forward. Mark for the Cats.
I think they need to go through the corridor here, Jack.
Oh, it's panic stations now. They've got to take some risks, which have been brave. Nice kick. This is the kick we're talking about. Can he mark it? Spills free. Here's the leg speed. Handball it out. Gets a quick kick away, but not enough on it. Chadwick's there. Banks-Smith has been impressive. Handball over the top. Broadbeach need to win this next ball. We've got to play it down in the middle of the ground. Handball over the top. Another player goes down. It's Thomas Aspley player. Hull trying to get the ball. Riley's there. And Broadbeach will clear and take a mark, and we'll get up to catch our breath. Go.
Ball on the outer side now as the Cats kick up towards half forward. Plenty of Hornets around this one. And Sherwood marks. Did he play on? Umpire said no.
Nellis pushed behind the ball.
Well, he's played, I think, over 200 senior games.
Now pushing forward, yeah.
He's been a legend of the Aspley Footy Club.
All by himself too, Nellis. No one within 30 metres of him.
Well, I don't think Broadbeach wouldn't mind not tagging him in that case. I'd rather have more players around this contest because the game is there to be won. But to be out of bounds on the full, clear from Hull, free kick.
21.5 minutes gone in this final quarter. We've had 5 goals between the two sides. Aspley leading by 8 points. Getting very dangerous now for the Broadbeach Cats.
Can I say, as a person of numbers, I would love to see the siren go. The minor premiers lose the grand final by 8 points, 2 games in a row.
Oh!
As the ball hits the deck on the outer side, up towards centre half forward. Here's Nellis. Handball's over the top. It'll be icing on the cake here for the Hornets. Premiers inside.
That's McKenzie again.
4 of the best for Kai McKenzie, and there's hugs all around here. Jack Barry and Riley Guest.
Well, he's been able to be the finisher today, and we tell you it's been a tight contest all day, but he's managed to kick 4 goals. I think 2 at each end just about, and he's been quite good.
And 4 goals straight too. We saw a lot of behinds early on, but when it's mattered most, he stood up and kicked the goal. Now a lot of instructions being barked from the Aspley bench, trying to get their rotations right here. 22.5 minutes, 14 points. Their fans are crowding the fence to the left of the field here.
Perhaps not for the first time today. Time will tell in a couple of hours' time.
Back in the middle. Moving the time on. Players gone down as Chadwick. I think he'll get the free kick and the clearance. This is what they need, but I think it's time going to beat them. They'll need to move the ball quickly. Where's Banks Smith? Launches high. He's 4 deep. No one can take the mark, but it's cleared away by Aspley as they thump it back. And again, Broadbeach will take the ball. They've got to move the ball quickly. A quick kick away. Good play in Jasper. Can they clearance the ball? Over the top, O'Neill handballs it out. Now they're out and free. A big kick forward again. Looking for the big mark to pack side. No one can take the mark. Spills free. But again, it's going to suit Aspley, and it's Nellis who's ruled himself behind the footy. The experienced now a defender. Clears the ball out, and Aspley are away.
Aspley on the outer side, looking for a target. Goes to ground. Broadbeach naturally with a couple of extra numbers. They are throwing everything at this contest, but as time is escaping from them, up towards high half forward. Ball hits the ground. Banks Smith working hard. Tries to sell his opponent into trouble. Out towards Nellis. And that's it. Aspley are your 2023 Reserves Premiers. And what a finish.
What a finish. Congratulations to both clubs. Put on a great display in a tough competition in the reserves. And we saw a bit of the futures market there of some young players who will certainly go on and play some senior footy. Some of them had a taste of senior footy during the year. And some older players that have been in and out along the way. But it was Aspley's day today, 12-9-81, defeating Broadbeach 10-7-67.
I think Aspley came with the intent to play. They burned a lot of opportunities in the first quarter. Might take you quickly through the quarter time scores, or at least the lead. So Broadbeach led by 3 points at quarter time, just a solitary point at half time. Aspley got in front going into the last change by 3 points, and then kicked 4 goals to 2. It was 8 goals to 5 in the second half in favour of the Hornets to run away, 14-point winners. Chris, I don't think Broadbeach kicked back-to-back goals since the opening quarter.
And we've got to give votes too. That's going to be the tough part, I think. That's going to be tough from our end. I think perhaps in a game that was very tight, I would go as far as saying Kai McKenzie.
McKenzie done. I thought Crawley played really well, as I said, in defence today. Probably shut down his direct opponent. I thought Chapman got a lot of clearances for Aspley. I thought he was good for them. But you're right, McKenzie kicks 4 goals. You know, that's a bit of a game changer for them. He made the most of it. Harms did well in the ruck, and I thought certainly for Broadbeach, I thought Tane Dawson was outstanding. O'Neill had his opportunities, but Banks Smith gave him plenty of balls up forward to try and win from.
Yeah, we'll go 3 for McKenzie, 2 votes for.
It's so tough.
It is.
They had a lot of contributors today, the Hornets did. I thought their midfield, Lonergan, McGurran, did jobs they needed to go out and execute.
What about Riley Owens?
Yeah, he was very lively. Kicked a couple of important goals throughout the match. It's been such an even performance from the entire Hornets side. Like, even James Nellis didn't do a lot, and he didn't even kick a goal all day, but he did his role and he did it really well, and that's probably why they've come away in the end. They had 22 people.
Yeah, and Tane Dawson was fantastic in the ruck. You know, I mean, I'm sure his last quarter was outstanding as he tried to get him back in the game, so he certainly deserves to be probably in the votes. And as was Banks Smith, who certainly showed something up forward. But yeah, just remember, it's hard to see what sort of game he had across the board, but I thought Chapman got some really big key clearances along the way. Yeah, it's a really tough one. But
yeah, we'll go Crawley.
I think Crawley in defence, you know, I thought he'd done a great job.
Yep, so we've got our 3-2-1 today. We've gone. We've got the chain happening here. We've got 4 people involved in this chain.
The all-important note's going to get its way down to Richie Lawrence, who's then going to run out in his very fancy shoes to deliver it to the AFLQ staff. Just going through the goal kickers quickly. For the victors, Aspley, as we mentioned, 4 goals to Kai McKenzie, 2 apiece to Riley Owens and Matt Herring, who kicked a lovely long-range goal in the second quarter. Singles to Callum Royal, Josh Banks, Kurt Lock and Alexander Barnes. And then for Broadbeach, 2 apiece to Sam Banks Smith, both coming in the last quarter, and Adam Hull, who kicked the 2 goals in the opening quarter. Singles to Brandon Chadwick, Hapo Bobby, Harry McInnes, Ben O'Brien, and Charles Vitoli. We haven't said that name all right all day, so apologies to him. But Aspley, they had to turn a 32-point loss. They they had the win last week, and then they came with a plan by Coach Michael Smith, and they executed it to perfection.
Well, it has been full-time here, and I want to say you guys have been absolutely sensational today, along with our friends at Double Take, but you guys have pulled double duty today, Jack Barry and Riley Guest, and I know the team is just so thrilled to have such quality callers that you guys have been able to be on board this year and do some wonderful things, and just building the quality and depth of our call team in Queensland. And Riley, you've only been calling this year, haven't you?
I don't even think I've done 10 games yet.
There you go, and you've called 2 grand finals, and you've absolutely smashed them out of the ballpark. And of course, Jack Barry, you can't have AFL Queensland QAFL grand final day without Jack Barry. My name's Andy. Thanks to our friends at Double Take for all their support, and thanks to you guys for tuning in across the day. It was Aspley, your reserves premiers. Stick around in about 30 minutes' time for the coverage of the 2023 Senior Men's Grand Final. It's Aspley and Redland Victoria Point. We'll catch you then.
grand final presentation ceremony. Firstly, we're now seeing the grand final, two best sides all year. Have a big round of applause together. The guys haven't been involved today, absolutely outstanding job. I'd just like to take the opportunity to introduce our official party today, assisting with presentation, Mr. Richard Wise, AFL Queensland's growth participation in operations manager, and Bill Harden Senior, father of Bill Harden Junior, and whom the BID level in honour. Firstly, I'd like to take the opportunity to thank our late officials today. Obviously, it's been an outstanding season for our umpires as well, and it's a massive grand final, so congratulations to their appointments. And of course, we'd just like to acknowledge Brandon, the windows and doors to our statewide partner of umpiring. So to receive their medals today, our field umpires, Jacob Severs, Daniel Furs, and Kai Pendlebury. Our boundary umpires, James Doctor and Matthew Gallifana. Our goal umpires, Jonah Jan and Elise Mondu for Shamble. Our emergency and third scores, Lachlan Marta and Tim Parsons. Once again, everyone, please put your hands together for our grand final umpires. I would now like to invite Bill Hardy Senior up on stage to present the best on ground medal. Each grand final, our best on ground medal is determined by a three-panel member voting on a 3-2-1 basis. Now, I'm delighted to announce that the player to receive this year's Bill Hardy Junior Medal from the Aspley Football Club is number 30, Kai McKenzie. Unfortunately, I was able to reach always to run around after our team, so we'd like to find the call forward, Tony Pollard, coaching Broadbeach to come to work. Firstly, congratulations to Aspley. Really a good contest. Unfortunately, one lose in our man well good. Yeah, boys, Premiership coach, and I'd like to call forward for the Aspley Football Club, Michael Smith, to receive his Premiership medallion and say a few words on behalf of the Premiers. said, Michael. It's now time to present our premiership players to a number order, the Aspley Football Club. Number off with number 5, Macaulay Longman. Number 7, Mitchell Crawley. Number 16, Callum Royal. Number 17, Justice Bentley. Number 21, Lachlan Sheriff. Number 25, James Nellis. Number 30, the official round today, Kyle McKenzie. Number 31, Jesse Patrick Doherty. Number 35, Joshua Paints. Number 37, Josh Chapman. Number 38, Lachlan Harrop. Number 40, Riley Owens. Number 45, Quat Dock. Number 46, Kane McDonald. Number 47, Mason O'Sullivan. Number 49, Alexander Barnes. Number 50, Jeremy Schoenmaker. And number 52, Benjamin Gould. Number 56, Matt Herring. Number 58, Jay Harms. Number 60, Corey Maroon. And finally, the premiership captain, number 8, Nicholas the last Richie grabbed the premiership cup as an officially crowned the 2023 QAFL Reserve Champions, the Aspley Hornets.